Facebook is safe. We block all those who claim we are censoring content. We are not harvesting your data, creating dossiers on the public, and selling your info. Why would we do such a thing?
Seeing the Easter Island pictures of art next to the Göbekli Tepe art is all I had to see. As a chief legislator, that's all a trier of fact needs to see to know Göbekli Tepe is nowhere near as old as they are claiming.
That Jason showed that the zodiac isn't even old, that the Greeks invented it, blew my mind. I'm a Christian now, and our scriptures tell us that stuff's evil.
Jason was publishing about the Mayan long count not ending in 2012, way back before 2012. This dude is shaking the nest. His discoveries on calendars and ancient moon and day count calendars is putting some of these guys to shame.
Remember, we are actors. We are paid to lie. We are rich because we are good at what we do.
Anyone at this point who can't see that the Jews copied Babylonian tablets to write Genesis is blind. Jason's Dark Scriptures playlist shows this perfectly.
That the New Testament is a collection of forged texts put together centuries after the events they depict.
This guy has called the entire ancient aliens community to debate. Like Tyson, they ain't getting in the ring.
Jason says one who is properly informed is not easily deceived. I would like to see Jimmy Corsetti or Matthew LaCroix debate Jason about this Atlantis dating issue. No one's realty interested in Bill Carson's opinion anymore.
His findings on the precession hoax, the change of the year from 360 days to 365, man, this changes everything in archaeoastronomy.
You know, I'm not a doctor. I have no medical background. I'm an actor. And even I know Atlantis was the 13th century BC.
Jason has dropped massive data sets on the Old Testament, not even being old, but from the Greek era.
You think we took you for a ride? Wait till the new Christian Reich takes control. It won't be American, and it sure ain't Christian.
I couldn't believe it. I mean, you know, when Jason showed that the Jewish calendar was completely made up, I mean, you know, damned, how are we going to know what year it is now?
Yeah, the Shar being a day and not a year totally murders a lot of books out there. That's the reason these guys don't want to talk. Jason killed their little pet theories.
It all came true. Jason said I was going to be a part of fake news, just like Billy Carson.
I tried to sniff Jason one time, but Big John stopped me. I think Jason would have been into it, though.
Don't forget, we are actors. We are paid to lie. We are rich because we are good at what we do.
I wasn't so sure about this Archaix thing, but AIX is certainly worth looking into.
I'm most impressed that Jason is not going to tell you something. He's going to show you.
Archaix shows us if you record enough facts, the answers just stare you in the face.
A man who knows the facts is unafraid to joust with contrary opinions. That's Jason.
I can't have that dude on my show. You know how many guys I've had on here who are running from that dude? Be a mess.
Jason says being wrong gets us closer to being right.
You got to break free or die trying, guys.
Archaix showed me how to see if there was a tater in them onions.
Listen, Archaix isn't one guy against the Matrix. That's dumb. No, it's a family of souls waking up.
If I've learned anything since finding Archaix, if something is true somewhere, it's probably true everywhere.
Jason said if it's true, we can see it from multiple different vantage points.
So I broke pattern and went up there and slapped that guy. Total pattern break.
If you get stumped, you got to break pattern.
Jason says you don't need to know how to read, you need to know how to think. I think that's where I went wrong.
Jason figured it out. People are smart and they can decide for themselves if something is true or not.
No, I don't have anything to hide. I just don't want Jason anywhere near my accounting files.
There's a bunch of us who don't listen to Archaix. We signed a different deal. I think it's AIX or something.
Come on, Billy. Everyone knows Atlantis wasn't 12,000 years ago. It was in the 1800s or something.
Atlantis 10,000 years ago? Even I'm not that dumb.
Come on, G, you can't contain this. You're going to sink like Atlantis.
Billy Carson is fake news, the fakest news. Jason has proven that.
After careful analysis of Jason's data sets, I agree with you, Billy. Don't debate him.
The cat's out of the bag, Billy. Jason's data set proves you're wrong about Atlantis.
Billy, even I can see that the Atlantis narrative isn't dated correctly. Hear Jason out, man.
Hey bro, you running from this debate isn't a good look for your research. Just debate him already.
Billy, don't be scared to debate, man. I'll have you guys on the podcast.
Yeah, man. Look at my special guest right here in this cozy little studio with me in Texas in subarctic polar bear type weather that's really got me upset. I don't like this cold weather. It's no good. I spent half the day winterizing the property. And in Texas, winterizing the property means just cleaning up the yard. A whole lot of
wrapping pipes. God, man, I wrapped so many pipes on Saturday.
I could not believe there was ice on the deck, on the front deck of my studio.
Was there?
Hell yeah, because we just watered all these plants recently, and then I had all this sitting water on top of that foldable Home Depot workbench.
Oh yeah.
I left it out, and it had water. Yeah, it has all these little ports for tools.
Yeah,
water collected in. I went out there this morning. It was all ice fractured. Wow.
Like Alaska. Yeah, it got pretty cold this morning.
Alaskan summer.
Right, like an Alaskan summer.
It's crazy. Let me remove my little intro. Little comic relief. We're not taking anything too seriously today, unless somebody asks me the right question.
You never know.
Never know. Mods, I've already posted the archaixlive@gmail.com, the invite email. You guys got questions? Don't waste your time in the chat. Drop an email. I got my email file open on a totally different screen. So as soon as you drop your emails, I see them come. I already see Janine, Saint Santana, Whit Robinson. Oh my God. OG Face Diver.
Oh,
Face Diver wants to come on screen.
Oh, Whit. How I miss you, buddy.
Yeah, man. Let's go ahead and get Whit in here like right now, so we can go ahead and get anything toxic out of the way. Whit, I know you're listening. OG Face Diver has been in this studio multiple times. I didn't think he'd ever leave. I'm just teasing.
Look, man, he apologized for 45 minutes for that.
I know. Say, man, you know what? We really had a blast because while I'm over here working, Whit is going through all the books, old stuff. Hey, man, did you know this? Hey, did you know this? I'm like, he's reading a whole stack of books I've already looked at like multiple dozen times. Man, did you know this right here, man? And then every once in a while, hey, look at this right here. And I look at it and I'm like, how the hell did I miss that? And it goes on X. I'm all posting it and I'm putting it on X.
How do you miss that? Jeez, look around.
Yeah.
How do you find anything?
Man, hey, you know what? It's organized chaos. It's organized chaos. Believe me.
I believe you.
Oh, Jamie Robbins popped up. Man, that was fortuitous. I just talked to Jamie in my email. I was just texting on my phone. I was just texting Jamie on my phone, and I'm going over these comments right here, and I accidentally hit Jamie's name, and he popped up on. Get off my screen. He's gone. I don't know how you snuck in there like that, Jamie. Wait your turn.
Jamie's sneaky. Jamie's a sneaky fella.
Whit, I just sent you the invite link. Whit, you got the invite link? Come on screen. Oh, Jamie Robbins popped in on the email. Alex Firestorm, that's a new one to me.
Yeah, that's new to me too.
Saint Santana and Janine, I'll get to y'all. Looks like Jeff McGregor, he's in here too. And somebody named Jeff, somebody else is sending me Wes Huffley's contact information. He's already done a video saying he's not going to debate anybody. He's too important. He's got a PhD. He's got a schedule to.
Oh,
yeah, man. Wes Huff's a fraud, man. All Christian apologetics are frauds. Apologetics is damage control for Christianity. That's all it is. He literally said in this video that I'm not going to debate you guys. I'm not going to debate you. I mean, first of all, we need to communicate and be very clear about what we're going to debate about. And then I need time to prepare everything I'm saying. What do you need to prepare for? Yeah, man, you don't need to prepare. You need to, only deception requires homework. If something is true, everybody's going to resonate with it as soon as it is said. Yeah, I'm not trying to hear that shit. Weirdo. Hello, Victoria. All right, got Gnostic Baseball in here. Monica Farrow. I see Don Hart, Pamela Swan, Fearless Vic, Riyadh Ali. Yeah, man. Riyadh Ali, why don't you pop up in here, man? You've always had some really good questions. You're an Archaix veteran. Yeah, man.
Super vet right there. That's a super vet.
Rhino, you're in the chat.
What, man?
Big
I got
John.
a computer in my lap. Howdy doody.
Big John, you're multitasking.
That's how I get down.
I don't even pay you that much.
Oh, don't I know it?
Oh, there's Hi Y'all Merrill Gigi. Squirrel Sniper, how you doing, bro? I promise you, next time we meet, I'm not going to forget your face. Hello, Lacey. Dick Flinghammer. Can't even believe I just said that out loud.
Aha.
Mandinator. Wow, that's a cool name. Probably named Mandy.
Somebody asked if this is Archaix coffee that I'm drinking.
Yeah, Archaix.
Have we leveled up that far?
Man, you know what? I need to find out from the coffee guys when they're mailing all that coffee out.
Mm.
I don't even know yet. So how's my audio? I haven't asked anybody about my audio. And real quick, I'm going to ask freaking Frack to speak up. Pete Repeat. Oh, nice. That's a good one, man. I like that. I got Pete here and I got Repeat.
Better than Tweedledee and Tweedledum, that's for sure.
Oh, I would have never done that. Not with y'all in the studio with me.
Oh, man.
Come on, I'm not dumb. I ain't trying to get folded up like a pretzel. These dudes are big. These guys are big. You guys, I'm just letting
That's
you know.
a big guy right there. This is a big fella right over here.
Not mine. Let's see.
Did you say not in your eyes?
Not mine.
I
don't see it ever. What you doing? What you doing, Whit? What's the question for today?
Can you guys hear me okay?
Man, I don't think there's ever been a time I couldn't hear you, brother.
I'm out close to the router here because I'm in third world country. I am standing here on the beach
in
Central America. Central America.
No shit.
Uh-oh. Oh, he's testing.
Probably choppy. Yeah, I'm trying to get close.
Where are you at right now?
Yeah, somewhere down there. yeah, somewhere. You'll find out later. I'll call you. I don't want to blow up the spot just yet.
That's fine.
All right.
I just messaged Max Egan this morning. He messaged me back. Are you that far south? Okay, I'm not going to deal with all this.
Let me get rid of this.
Yeah, you got about 10 seconds, man, and you about to make your exit.
Okay. Hey, I turned off YouTube. Am I coming in clear now?
Yes, you are. Absolutely.
Thank you, sir. I am operating from StreamYard only. Please forgive me, as this is my first time. I actually took electrical tape off my camera just for this.
Awesome.
Oh, wow.
So.
Special.
Right.
Yeah, we're just doing a Q&A, man.
Reading lost scriptures for the third time. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, I wasn't asking for a plug, but I appreciate it. So I'm doing.
It was organic, trust me.
I'm dignifying you with the very first question, man. But we're doing Q&A today. It's Q&A freestyle, EOTT. The reason I call these EOTT is because I'm always going to honor Jimmy James. Do you remember, Whit? Jimmy James committed suicide, and he told us. He told us why he was checking out. He's the very first YouTuber to ever podcast me. And this is way before Santos Bonacci. Jimmy James of Everything on the Table, EOTT. And he was injured in the UK, and the UK cut off his benefits. And he's like, he was handicapped. So without being able to find work and without having his benefits anymore in 2021, when the COVID stuff was going full strong, he just did a video and he says, guys, I choose how I'm going to live my life. UK government's not going to choose it, and I'm not going to live any way I don't want to live. So this is probably my last broadcast. And you know what? He made his exit. He did that, and I'm always going to honor him. I do these Q&As. These are EOTTs, everything on the table. So you got the first question. What you got?
Well, shout out to that acronym, first of all, and shout out to Jimmy James second, or first actually, and the acronym second. They're one and the same, but he's we do choose our paths here. I think it's all already set and done before we even took our first breath. And maybe we decide to exit too. So to each his own. Respect for that. And I don't really have a question, Jason, because I've spent so much time with you. I'm not even the same guy as I was when I showed up at your house. You literally spiritually alchemized every grain of DNA that was willing to receive during that week. So thank you for that. I've shared it with a few people. So, yeah, man, it was if I instead of a question, I'd like to answer some, maybe just answer one for somebody, and that would be those people that doubt you and your organicness. You and I are both interesting characters and individuals, and I think we're misunderstood by a lot because of the depth of information that you provide. That is, you can back it up with all your bibliographies. You have hundreds, if not 1,000 videos floating around, not to mention the books, the meetups. And it's just the digital arena has been, it's full of the waters are so muddied, especially in the last 5 years. It's hard for people to trust anything. They don't trust themselves because they've outsourced most of their intuition to a third party, whether it be a government and/or taking loans out instead of borrowing from your future self, trusting the moment and the process. The most important words we use all end with MENT. That's why in those chats, I'm always doing that etymological woo-woo. And I always capitalize the MENT. So people will say, why is he always doing that? Maybe somebody will ask me and I can answer it. Just, I'm focusing on the mind. The mint is the mind. Right. And, they mint money, and because it steals our mind. The money's made in a mint, right? You eat a mint when your breath stinks. It's like all these carnal masks and third-party solutions for spiritual problems.
All right, look, check it out. You don't have a question. You don't have a question. Listen, you don't have a question. You've already plugged me twice. And if you plug me a third time, people are going to think I planned all this for you to come on here. So I'm going to tell you like this. The next time you're passing through Texas, which because I'm saying it right now, I'm pretty sure it's going to be pretty soon. But the next time you're passing through Texas, stop by again. But I would prefer you to stop by after all this cold is over with, because the springtime is when we got to get a lot of yard work done. I appreciate the help.
Hey, I will say I'm committed in advance. I would never show up there when it's cold, so you don't have to worry about that. And I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty. I mowed lawns. I did over 100 accounts a week for 8 years of my sobriety in the beginning, from 2014 all the way up to COVID hit. And then that was time for me to do Operation Rug Pull commenced. And here we are today, my friends and my brothers and sisters and aunts.
Awesome, man. It was good talking to you, bro.
One last plug. You're one of the few people that I would come do free yard work for. Cash out. No, I'm just kidding.
Cash out.
People are just, they're too suspicious. They don't have enough, they're not standing on a solid enough foundation to be that suspicious. Leave that to me, okay? I'm the paranoid guy here. Let me figure this stuff out. I'll share all my findings with everybody if you know where to look.
Appreciate you, man. Holler at you.
Later, man.
Got it. I had to go. Cut him off. And get him out. Yeah, man, Witt's a good guy. He spent a lot of time here going through all my books. And I'm just BSing you guys. He's not in the way. He's provided a lot of value to the Archaix community. Many of the posts on X were a direct result of him and I just bouncing ideas back and forth. But I have already sent the link to 4 or 5 people. I'm waiting for them to pop up. Asking me questions in these emails, I'm sending you links. I can't believe Meryl hasn't sent an email. You remember all the questions she used to ask? Oh my God.
Meryl is an endless.
Meryl and Victoria. If you trace back their genealogies far enough, Victoria Z and Meryl Gigi, they almost sound the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Trace them back. I guarantee you they're related.
Gotta be.
They got some of that inquisitive DNA. Oh, there's Jamie Robbins. I see Jamie. What? You know what? You know I got to send Jamie Robbins this reply. Hey, EOTT, everything on the table, guys. This is baby phoenixes. This is advanced. This is advanced Archaix. Podcasts I've done, exposés I've done, whatever you want to do. You got some questions about people that are out there in the field releasing all kinds of information. You want my opinion on it? You want Big John's opinion? You want Big Cole's opinion? By all means. By all means. This is the time to ask that.
Terrible opinions. But I'll share them. I mean, you know, why not?
This is the time to ask that. Jeff M, fix your camera. I can see you backstage, but your camera's not on unless you don't want it on. Let's see. Okay, I got a lot of emails coming in now.
It's because they want to talk to Cole.
Quiet one. Oh man, say that them girls. You already know the girls crushing on Cole, man. Coming here looking like Lou Ferrigno and Charlie Brown mixed together. What's wrong with you, man?
Charlie Brown. Where'd that come from?
Yeah, Charlie Brown got that real friendly disposition, man. Till you piss him off. No.
I don't know, man. I mean, sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, when you're in a good mood, you know what I mean? You take your shirt off, everybody see these old demon tattoos. Like, what the what? Yeah, man. Yeah, we're not really approachable. The three of us walking around in public, I don't really see a lot of people walking up to us. You know what I mean? All right, add to stage. We got, who is this? Jeff M. I don't see you on there, man. Are you having some signal problems? Is your audio on?
It's on. Can you hear me?
Cool. Yeah, we can hear you just fine. We just can't see you.
Okay, I'm gonna reset the camera.
It's not real important. I mean, it's nice for the community to see you, but
I hit the camera button. I can see myself. It seems like it's coming through. I don't know what the problem is. Should I keep going? Just talk?
Just go ahead and talk. No big deal.
He's on live.
Oh, okay. Well, you're just not on me.
Yeah, that's weird.
On my screen. Okay, no, everybody can see you. It's good.
Yeah. So, hey, I love these shows, Jason, when you do the Q&A, and I love even more that you got these guys, Cole, and is that Big John?
Big John and Cole, yeah. They're on the other side of the studio over there.
So I just want to start by saying it's my favorite format when you talk to the other listeners, your longtime listeners, and answer questions and just go off the cuff like this. So should I get right into what I wanted to talk about and comment on?
Absolutely.
So I've had a lot of experiences that I think are like medium or psychedelic, not psychedelic, but paranormal kind of stuff. And a lot of the people who follow you do. So there's that element there. And it's hard to create something like Gaia. You know, as much as we could all criticize things, it ends up being people, maybe sometimes they have the gifts, they have the experiences, and then they start trying to make money at it. And what if they lose the gift? Or what if they're funding? What if you're like these guys in the 70s working for the CIA, getting these grants, and you're supposed to be psychic spies figuring out all this stuff in the Soviet Union? But what if you're failing, but you got all these people working for you, and you got to keep faking it to keep getting that grant money? So I've listened to you talk about this stuff, and I think you make good points, which is there's very few ways you could actually prove stuff. And although I believe in it, and I believe I've experienced stuff, if you haven't experienced it personally, it's just, I wouldn't have believed anything people were saying, like the Darius Wright stuff. I would doubt it all 100% unless some of it happened to me. But I think I'm glad you did what you did, because this is like over the top things where people are faking stuff over a period of years. So I salute you for using your platform.
Jeff, let me comment on what you just said, because I'm going to tell you right now that I believe in out-of-body experiences. I also believe in astral projection. These are not the hallmarks of my channel. This is not the focus of my channel, and nor do I promote things on my channel that I can't readily show. If I can't show you through a logic train, if I can't show you through the numbers, the dates, you know what? I kind of avoid those topics. I'm not into the metaphysical. I really don't care about mysticism in the metaphysical. However, I'm going to tell you now that I don't believe my dad is lying to me when his life was on the line and he was 1st Battalion, 2nd Infantry, Bravo, and he was trapped behind enemy lines, and the recon units were dropped by Hueys all the time, right behind the DMZ, and they were literally put in the line of fire, and this was his job. He was not dropped in enemy territory to fight, but he often had to. 6-man recon teams, and they were dropped behind enemy lines only to bed down and record positions of the enemy. And my dad was dropped into a real bad one time, and he had an out-of-body experience, and he's related it to me. And he doesn't like the 4th of July. He doesn't like New Year's. He doesn't like all the explosions. He volunteered for 2 tours in Vietnam. You guys know, most of you know my dad. These guys know my dad real well, and it's just, these aren't things he really talks about a lot. But I don't believe he's lying to me when he said, yeah, I had an out-of-body experience. He got shot up really bad and can show you. He carried a ham operator through a jungle, not even knowing the guy had already been riddled with bullets. He was just trying to save the guy's life. And my dad got shot up doing that. And he had to hide up in a tree. And when he was up in that tree, he had an out-of-body experience, and he met something. And it's never left him. And he doesn't even like to talk about it. He's only told the story to me like 2 times in my entire life did he relate that story, and it's never changed. I'm a believer, but we have to take these things case by case. So I'm going to tell you now that a lot of these people are telling the truth. The reason I singled Darius J. Wright out is because there's too many inconsistencies in his accounts. There's too much creative license, and I'm very familiar with Golden Dawn material, and I can see when somebody has been influenced by it and it creeps into their narratives. So if artificial pieces have been put into your narrative, it basically makes me think that everything's artificial. So I'm not discounting OBEs, but in the case of Darius Wright, we have a guy that tried to get popular doing yoga videos on YouTube. If you don't know this, you need to my Twitter page where I show Darius Wright as a young, strapping, good-looking young fellow, and his physique and what he could do with his body is abnormal. He shows on YouTube what he was doing before he met Lisa Harrison. Once he met Lisa Harrison, his physical body changed. Things that are coming out of his mouth changed. But you have to understand, with Darius J. Hart, Darius Wright, my criticism comes because the devil's in the details. When the yoga videos didn't take off because that was super competitive, too many people are doing it. So he gets involved in the Lilu scam with Lisa Harrison. Lilu was a whole scam, a total psyop. That didn't pan out well either. It broke their whole group up. And I know, like I said, showed in the video, many people I know personally were there. So then all of a sudden he explodes onto the scene about 5 months after he comes in contact with all the Archaix material. He explodes onto the scene with OBEs, and he's got evidence that we are in a simulation, through these OBEs. But the information he's using is out of Golden Dawn tractates, the old brochures of the Golden Dawn Society about Atlantis, Black Pyramids. I'm just not buying it. I'm not buying it. So it's a case-by-case basis. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Shouldn't be critical on all that phenomena at all, and I'm really not. I'm really not.
I want to ask you something. I want to throw out something for you because I know your viewers want to hear your opinions, but I'm kind of just prefacing this and building up to what I want you to maybe address. Sure. And I felt you did a very fair job. The situation was very egregious based on all the information you and the lady from England were talking about. You've done a real service, I think, to people by sharing that information. And I 100% think you need to just stick to your format because you don't need to start covering OBEs. What you're doing is so great. It's not fair to expect you to be expanding into all these different areas, even though some of us have that, desire to hear more about it, but it doesn't mean you're the guy who has to explain it. You're in your zone and your lane, and you're just doing an awesome job. But this brings up the question, which is, there's a void that we feel like we need, not Gaia, but we feel like we need something like that. And you're giving us a lot of stuff that's in that genre. And I subscribe to Gaia. I watched a lot of stuff. There was some interesting stuff, but I think once you've encountered the Archaix research, you just can't unsee that. You can't go back and look at that stuff the same way with all the ancient aliens. And so what you're saying about Darius Wright or Billy Carson, so once you start seeing that, you start feeling like, gosh, I'm looking at a lot of fake scripted stuff. And we kind of desire authenticity. When you talk about the Phoenix, for me, it's almost spiritual. I feel like that's a spiritual symbol to me now, that like it never was before. But I feel maybe other errands do too. It's like I don't think we have a void here. And I just want to say, I don't think you need to fill that, but it sure would be nice if there was something on a more expansive level where your chronology, your research, this all encompassing stuff, there was a place for that. And there were places for more interesting stories along these other lines with mediumship and psychic stuff. So no pressure on you that you have to deliver that. I'm just saying that's the void I feel. I wanted maybe you to comment on how other errands might feel when they have these experiences and they're attracted to watching your content, but it's not something you're going to be covering because you're sticking to stuff that's provable, that's research based, that's in the literature. So I just want to say I agree that you're doing it that way, but I still feel a void. And that's it. I'm over and out.
Listen, you make a very good point, and maybe somebody on the board for Gaia will be listening to this, and maybe they'll start, promoting some more spiritual material. Because to me, anything in the world of phenomena that is alchematized in such a way that you would search for spiritual stuff in the phenomena around you is all deceit. If we're not pulling it out from within ourselves, then it's not coming from source. And maybe Gaia will start, putting out some better spiritual material. But I'm very critical of a lot of people on Gaia because, we get a lot of spiritual or pseudo-spiritual stuff from guys, and the same exact guys are all of a sudden experts on 15th century BC technolithic artifacts. They're also experts right here on ancient aliens, and they know how to separate fact from fiction on what the government's revealing, on what they're not revealing. And then the next month, they're an expert in this field over here of gematria. And you know what? It gets very, very weary, tiresome trying to keep up with basically the whole grift. It's a huge grift. Chronology has allowed me to go into many different facets and research, but still at the core, you are correct. Archaix is a chronology-based, mathematical-based venue. That's how I'm going to perceive the world. That's how I'm going to convey it. But like I said, I'm not totally against the OBEs at all. All right, man. I'm gonna go to the next person. Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
All right, let's see here. That's gonna be. I've got Saint Santana and Jonathan Sherman backstage.
Hey, woohoo!
How you doing, man?
I'm good. Hey, much love, Jason. Thank you for everything you do. Archaix TV, Cole and John and everybody else, all the mods. Shout out to Pamela Swan, the lovely goddess. Yeah, wow.
Oh, got a crush on Pamela.
I know she's amazing. She does a lot of work. She's active, and
she's great.
So my question, Jason, to not take up much of your time, I'm currently in the transition of getting out probation, but I have a question about my life, and I want to transition. How would an errant transition to come under the camp? You know what I'm saying? How can we work towards, do you get what I'm saying? To your security, to the longevity of our camp.
Okay, well, check this out. Listen, I can answer your question without even understanding exactly what you're trying, what you're focused on, or exactly what you're requesting from me. So here's the best way for you and anybody else to get exactly what you want out of life. You've got to communicate it. The individual soul that doesn't accurately communicate to the oversoul what exactly it is you're trying to do and accomplish in life is only receiving mixed signals from you. And if mixed signals are all you're broadcasting, then your daily life will receive that as experiences that are very mixed, very unusual. Your life will be full of a lot of monotony that is broken up and punctuated by unusual things that you just can't quite put together. And yet every day still is just like the day before, no matter what kind of unusual things that were there as pattern breaks for you to grab on and go in that direction, but you don't. What I'm saying is the field is highly receptive to the individual soul. But if the individual soul is only sending out mixed messages, then that soul is going to receive back as experiences all kinds of mixed phenomena.
Okay, so I got to be more expressive. I feel like I want to.
I'm not done. I'm giving you the formula right now. It is so mundane. It is so mundane. It is so childish. It is so easy that many people listening to me right now are going to dismiss it. But it's literally as easy as just writing a small list of who you want to be. That's all you got to do. Who you want to be. A list. Reading that out loud, letting the field know that. Because instantly the variables that are already in the field, because remember, every single thing that we could ever possibly want is already in the field. It's called potentia. That's the beauty of the construct. Potentia is energy that is literally waiting to be used, is to crystallize into some form that we translate through the central nervous system as experience. It's already there. You don't have to invent it. You don't have to make it up. You don't have to wait for the oversoul to create it. Every single experience you ever wanted to have is already in the field. Now, when you're not proactive, then the field is going to allow other souls to experience the very thing that you're wanting, because you're not attracting it to you, you're pushing it away. So as long as you're pushing it away, the energy in the experience was already mentally created. So it's out there. This is why, pay attention. This is why many times in your life, you literally watched someone close to you get the very thing in life that you wanted for yourself. It's because you pushed it away, but you created it. Yeah, the desire to experience something is created in the field. You made that experience. Whether you're going to experience it is another matter. Many times in my life, I watch other people get the very thing that I created in my imagination and then pushed away by disbelief. You need to write down a list of what you want, a very clear signal to the field, and then moving your avatar in the direction of receiving that signal is the clearest way to get that reflected back to you as a circumstance. It's really that simple. It's so simple that the human mind is trained to overcomplicate it and neutralize the very things that we set in motion. So yeah, it's that simple, man.
Thank you, Jason, man. You're amazing, for real. Mad respect.
I just sat in a prison cell for a very long period of time and just watched everybody. And I just processed information and I studied why I was going through the things I went through. And you know what? It does something to you. And when I got out of prison, I got to put into applications many of those things. There's long periods of time when I got out of prison where I wasn't even applying the very principles that I had taught myself in prison. I made amazing things happen for me in prison, amazing things. But when I got out, I just kind of just forgot it all. I'm in a new world. And I just plunged down for a while. And then I just decided, you know what? I'm done. I'm done doing things this way. Matter of fact, really good story, a really good anecdote. Big John's sitting here right here. Big John and I worked at the same oil and gas facility. Big John and I were there the same day when all of a sudden he didn't even see it coming. He didn't even see it coming. But I walked up to him and I said, "Hey man, I'll see you later." And then I walked toward. He said, "Where are you going, man?" He says, "I'm done. I literally told Big John, he says, this ain't me no more, bro. I'm done. Right after that, I started this YouTube channel.
Yeah, it wasn't very long afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember it. I don't know. I didn't really hear what you said. I don't remember like you saying like you're done or like, you know, I asked you where you were going or whatever. I just remember like I'm working and that job was, man, that was a brutal job. But
brutal job.
Yeah, it was a lot. But like you had said something to me and then I looked up and the guy working next to me looked up and we saw you way across the facility over there, like way over there walking away. And he was like, hey, where's your buddy going? I was like, he's walking towards the parking lot. So, like later, I like kind of, you know, confirmed it with you that, but yeah, that's weird. But I remember we talked, I don't know, that was some years ago. Yeah, I worked there for a little while after that and it sucked.
Yeah, it sucked. It's a lot of work. Oil and gas sucks, guys. It's a lot of hours. We're working 7/12s basically, weren't we?
No. It wasn't basically. That was what it was.
Yeah. 84 hours a week, I believe.
Yeah, 84 a week. Man, brutal. Yeah, 7 to 7.
I stopped. I absolutely stopped. Didn't never look back. I was just done. I made it up. Santana, I made up my mind from that day forward that I'm not doing things the world's way. I started my YouTube channel and I started Paradise Rock Gardens, which ended up doing some heroic projects that I'm super proud of. Flagstoning whole driveways and driving my 4,000 pounds back and forth over it just to prove that my product could sustain the weight without stress fractures. He helped me on that too. I almost killed this boy.
We almost killed Byron.
Yeah, we almost killed Byron, didn't we? Yeah, we flagstoned a 1,400 square foot driveway with flagstones that were monolithic.
Oh, they were huge.
Huge. But you know what? We did it. Took pictures of it. You can still go to ParadiseRockGardens.com and see all of our work. But I decided to do things for myself. And then John followed me and started working with me. And but what I'm saying is I'm telling you all this because there's going to come a time. It can be for you. It can be this evening. It can be in the morning. It doesn't matter. You have to send a very clear signal to the oversoul, to the construct, because clear signals are the only way you're going to clearly receive everything that you want in life. It's the only way it's going to happen. Send mixed signals, you will experience all kinds of phenomena that are the result of mixed signals. So it's really, listen, the construct is specifically designed to reflect back as circumstances, anything that you personally project. It's that simple.
All right, I'm going to do it right now. I have a new car. I have it. No, okay, I'm just joking.
Well, I use the new car analogy a lot. I've told
you?
People, yes, I have. I've told people several times. You want a new car? Super simple. You can be the brokest person in Texas.
So me.
Yep.
Okay.
You can be the brokest person in Texas. And all you got to do is go to a car lot and look around and let that salesman try to sell you that car. But look for the one that you really want. Put it in your mind. Shop online for cars. Then get it out of your mind. Put it away. Shelve it. Because anything that you dwell upon, you actually push away from you. And then start doing other things. And like you've already sent the signal into the field. It's done. Once you sent the signal into the field, you do something else. Because if you don't do something else, you create an interference pattern. And then the interference pattern literally creates energy that pushes what you want away.
Yeah.
You take action, though. You move your
Wait, can you repeat that last part?
I went and looked at the car, getting online. And not just wishful thinking.
So yeah, Santana, I interrupted you with all that. So go ahead and continue. Unless
no. What's the last thing you said? You put the signal out, and then the mixed signal energy pushes it away.
Let me explain. Anything that you dwell on, you create another energy, which is an interference pattern. That secondary energy is not like the first. The first is like want, hope, excitement. It's like, wow, man, I mentally picture this awesome car that I want. And these things you put these in the field. If you let that go after you've moved the avatar in the direction by car shopping, doing something with your body, which belongs to the construct, not you. Do something with your body that follows that thought. Then let it go. Maintain that excitement. Shelve that idea and move in a different direction in your life, doing other things. Because it sends a signal to the construct that, oh, okay, this soul has already given me the mental picture. This soul has already fueled that mental picture with some activity and emotion. It's done. Anxiety creates an interference pattern. When you dwell on the very thing that you want, you begin to dwell on the fact that you don't have it. That creates anxiety. Anxiety is an energy that neutralizes anything else you've already put out into the field. That's what you need to avoid. That's why it's very important to find something else to do, find something else to want, find something else to experience. And if you want to amplify what you want to bring into the field for yourself, I'm going to tell you now, it sounds like it's weird. But if you really want to amplify bringing a new vehicle into your, we're just using that as an example, but if you want to amplify bringing a new vehicle into your experience, the best way to do it is to help somebody else get what they want. It doesn't have to be a vehicle. Just find out what another soul in the construct is really wanting. And if you can make that happen for them, it creates an amplification in the very things that you've already set in motion in your own life. So,
wow.
I hope
Thank
that
you
helps.
so much. Yeah, definitely.
There's a power in generosity, man. I'm telling you, there's a power in generosity. You will find out when you are a generous soul, you're going to find out that money is not something that is objective anymore. It is literally something that flows into your experience. Money becomes what it's called, a currency.
Yeah. So we were talking about cars and stuff like that. So Allie Wilkins, she said in the chat.
All right, Santana.
Yeah, much love, much peace. Thank you for your time.
So she said, just make sure it has a license plate on the front and the back. I was talking to her earlier. I got pulled over on the way over here.
Did you know?
By Conroe PD, dude.
Oh.
Because I don't have a license plate on the front. Remember, because I hit the goat in your
I
neighborhood?
remember that, yeah.
So I got like that new bumper on there. So I don't have a license plate on the front. It's in the trunk. Like I just
You showed it to him?
Well, yeah, I showed it to him. I just got a warning or whatever. But that's why he pulled me over. He saw like, okay, yeah, you're legal everywhere else.
Yeah,
so.
man. It's not every day somebody hits a goat.
Yeah,
Alaska,
you got
they
it.
just
Yeah,
give
in
it away.
Texas, you got to have it on the front and the back.
Well, I guess I'm getting pulled over at some point.
Yeah, I didn't tell you. I should have told you that. So Cole just moved from Alaska recently. I should have told you that. It's you need to have a license plate.
Well, as long as you've got Alaska plates on your vehicle, like
it's only required in Alaska to have it on the back.
Yeah, so like they're not going to mess with you. They have Texas plates.
All right, Jonathan Sherman.
How you doing?
See you on the screen here. It's been a while since I talked to you.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
You can hear me fine?
I can hear you.
How you doing, Jace?
I'm pretty good, man. I'm pretty good.
Yeah, you are indeed. I got a question for you. Off topic. I got questions about the end of the NER chronology. That last 600 years that ended in 1962.
Absolutely.
It seems like it. I thought there would be something more significant or substantial. You know, at the end of the end of the Bactons, it's a damn end of the world. Whereas at the end of the NER it's hard to ascertain exactly what transpired in 1962. It's kind of glossed over. I was just wondering if you had any more information on the significance of the ending of that.
Well, I do remember. I have a whole list of all the different things that happened in 1962. I don't quite remember.
It just did. I found it wanting. Like it seemed like we were missing something.
I should do a video on it then. I know I have a lot of information spread through many videos about 1962. Not even Chronicon has the full list.
Okay.
But yeah, I should. Wasn't it 4,200 years after the Great Flood? Wasn't it the 42 generations mentioned in the Book of Enoch that the Watchers would be confined? And then in 1962 began the close encounters of the third kind, when all of a sudden now people are all over the world coming up with these abduction stories. Instead of just seeing UFOs, now they're inside them. But
is there? I mean, that in correlation to that, what it said in Enoch, the release of the Watchers after the 7 years, was there more of like a subversive infiltration into upper echelons in 1962, or like, you know, certain powers released? I'm not saying like, you know, supernatural powers, but were certain things put into play that, I don't know, kind of set the stage.
I don't know. I just recently did a video that showed how that whole NER calendar shifted, and the 600 years lined up perfectly with, what was it, 2106? I'm looking at it right now. I can't remember. I put out so many different videos. I just can't.
Yeah. I've watched them all, so I'm all confused too.
Yeah, I need to do a synthesis on that. But the Anuna NER system, exactly 6,000 years. It's exactly 6,000. All I remember is exactly a 6,000 year period that started in 5239 BC. And these periods were very well known to the Sumerians. There were 216,000 shars, turnings of the stars. And two great shars was the one period of time that we're all familiar with. 432,000 years. The Zechariah Sitchin and Billy Carson version of when the gods descended to the Great Flood, which doesn't make sense, but it does make sense as days. Now, 10 NER from 5239 BC, the beginning of the Anunnaki calendar, all the way to the end of the Anunnaki calendar was 1962.
Right.
So, 1962 did mark, as I remember in Chronicon, a significant decline in morality and a significant decline all of a sudden in the judiciary. The judiciary all of a sudden just passing Supreme Court all of a sudden just passing all kinds of really immoral laws and using the Constitution to do it and the amendments to do it. But 1962, as I showed you, also began the Close Encounters of the Third Kind. But this 10-year period is a cross-calendrical parallel for another 10 NER period. And you're familiar with that too, Jonathan. It started in 3895 BC with the Phoenix reset, Adam and Eve Genesis Phoenix reset, which was not a creation story. It was a reset story. It was a renovation. Be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. But I'm going to, because I'm very well aware that 1962 was the end of the Anuna NER system. I am going to do a whole video on 1962 just for you.
Cool, the gang. Yeah, no, I just feel like there wasn't anything like so big in the world, like some catastrophic, event that took place. But it seems like there's subversively things like went into play.
I'm gonna have to interject. The Anuna NER calendar is not like the Phoenix calendar. On the Anuna NER calendar, on the NER dates, we don't really have cataclysms. We just had two. We just had two that lined up. We had the introduction of new paradigms and the collapse of old paradigms on the 600-year periods. We had strange. These are strange years when all of a sudden Enki appeared as the ruler and benefactor of a whole new civilization from the underworld to the surface. We had Noah appeared, who was, according to the Dead Sea Scrolls, the very first baby of a whole new race, and that was on a NER. Also, 1639, we have Jacob. Jacob dies; he exits the construct, and we have Ephraim and Manasseh are born. So they're the 13th tribe.
Yeah, that's the start of us.
So, yeah, we have some. The NERs are very unusual, but the concept attached to the NER is that a great one enters or exits the construct on those dates. Right. So I don't know. 1962 was pretty interesting, but I'm going to do a whole video on it. I'm going to show the calendrics, everything that happened. I know that one of the concepts attached to it is underground, and if you're familiar, you do know that in 1962, they began the Cheyenne Mountain Complex, which is about 21 levels and about 11 different agencies military agencies that all operate underneath that mountain. That was started in 1962 as well.
Yeah, well, the NER and the Nuna are all attached to the underground, so it makes sense.
Yeah, and
I also had a question in regards to another. You've got these cross calendrical parallels that take place, and it
Right.
seems like there was a big one that took place in 1849, the destruction of the Mohenjo-daro Valley and Sodom and Gomorrah.
1849 BC.
Yeah, BC. So my thought is like that should then be somehow reflective in 1849 AD. And I've gone back and looked at a bunch of information, and I don't see anything really substantive aside from basically almost all the monarchies in Europe were dismantled in 1 year.
Yeah, I know. There was great changes in 1849, but they weren't cataclysmic. But
no.
What is interesting about 1849 is that in 1849 BC, we have the destruction of Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, Larak, the Pakistan civilization, the Harappan civilization. We have the complete destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah in the Old Testament in 1849. We have the complete, absolute eradication of all the Sumerian cities, which is detailed in the Lamentation texts of Babylon. This is really interesting because that's 1849 BC. But in 1849 AD, we had the discovery of the Lamentation texts in Nimrud Burs in Assyria. So the very tablets that conveyed these stories that Sodom and Gomorrah and the Sumerian cities were destroyed, the very tablets that conveyed these things in cuneiform, that they were true, were actually discovered in the Anno Domini 1849.
Yeah, that's interesting.
What's wrong with you guys?
Jamie and Win are roasting us in the chat.
Hands and Franz,
Hans and Franz here to pump you up.
Yeah.
Calling us the Bulldog Brothers, all kinds of shit.
I'm minding my manners today. That was my only question, Jason. I'm gonna type your lines and let other people.
No, man, you got. Actually, you gave me a good idea. I should do a video just on the year 1962, itemizing every single thing that happened in the field, because it's a lot more than you think, and then connecting it to all the nerd dates of the past.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait.
Yeah, I'll do that. That'll be a very recent video. I'll get on that immediately.
Hell yeah. Well, I appreciate you, Jason. Thanks for everything.
Yeah, man. I appreciate the inspiration because I love new video ideas.
Okay, blessings, my bro.
All right, man. See you later.
Yeah.
All right, we got, who is this, lower class citizen? I've never seen this face. I've seen lower class citizen in my chat for years, and I've never seen your face.
Right. How you doing, Jason?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Good. Hey, to correct me if I'm wrong on that last guy that you helped with his manifestation, I wanted to say that you also want to put out to the universe what you don't want. You want to be clear on what you want, but you also want to be clear on what you don't want when you're manifesting.
You asked me to correct you, so I'm going to correct you right now. I'm going to say you're wrong. I'm going to say you're wrong, man.
Okay.
The reason I'm going to say you're wrong is because just like it's almost impossible to prove a negative, I'm never going to tell somebody to focus on the very things they don't want, because they're literally creating the mental image of something they don't want. And because they don't want it, anxiety is attached. Anxiety is creative. It is absolutely creative. That's why we neutralize the very things we want all the time by following it with anxiety. And the anxiety comes up in our life because there's been a lapse of time between the time that we initially thought about it, put it into the field, acted on it, and then time elapses. And some people get anxious about that. That anxiety is an energy. It's like negative default programming. It will completely neutralize what was already put out there and make it turn into something else, such as giving somebody near you the very thing that you wanted for yourself. I'm not going to promote the idea of ever imagining and communicating to the construct the things you don't want, because it's not going to interpret it that way. It's not going to interpret a negative. It's going to create the circumstances. This is why people create the very things they fear all the time. This is why a man who walks through an unfamiliar yard with confidence and meets a dog at eye contact, the dog will lunge, will snarl, will sit there and drool, and then act like it's about to attack him. At the last minute, the dog will be neutralized if there's no reaction from the man at all. But the person that even shows a slight fear will instantly be set on by that dog. It's yeah, the dogs are a part of the construct. You know, I don't want to offend anybody. For those who want to talk, we're not talking about souls here, but they're still a part of the construct, just like everybody else. Every body that you see, whether there's a soul in it or whether it's an NPC, every body that you see is a part of the construct. Your body is a part of the construct. So I'm just going to say this, lower class citizen. I'm going to say that just don't dwell on things you don't want. Because if you're dwelling on the things that you do want, you've just set the parameters right there. If you dwell on the things you don't want, you're sending a mixed signal. If you don't want it, don't think about it.
Right. Okay. Well, my question has to do with the latest predictions video you did in Donald Trump, and I think
man, you're gonna open up that can of worms. Okay.
I was wondering if you heard about Donald Trump being bailed out by the Rothschild I think it was '94. He was bailed out of Chapter 11 bankruptcy, and if you heard about it,
I'm well aware of it.
Does it strengthen the timeline and what happens in your predictions?
It has nothing to do with the timeline. Him being connected to the Jewish Rothschilds, the very fact that he's a part of a Jewish cult, his daughter is very deeply embedded within a Jewish cult. I can't remember the name of it. The very fact that his family is intermarried in with one of the Jewish elite, what's his name, Jared Kushner? Yeah, Kushner. Listen, these are all things that the majority don't even know about. They don't even know that Trump has been a liberal and a Democrat his entire life. He only switched to Republican to do the job he's doing now. He's one of the elite. He's one of the actors. He's no different than Elon Musk. They're all playing their role. It's what I saw in the mathematics, just for anybody listening, in my predictions video, it's very clear. There's only 4 presidents that have been actually assassinated in office. We have Garfield, McKinley, Lincoln, and Kennedy. And the strange thing is I showed 3 perfect mathematical patterns of all 4 that all 4 participate in. There's 3 mathematical patterns that all target 2025 as presidential assassin. Does that mean Trump is going to be assassinated? No. It could be Biden before the 20th. It could be Vance in September, October, November. It's the concept attached in the calendrics is just presidential assassination. I can't tell you which one because I don't know. But for those who have been following lately, like on Twitter, I've been posting my OFIS predictions. I've been showing some really compelling things about 2025 after my predictions video. And I'm going to continue to show more and more things. But yeah, in answer to your question, the specifics don't have a bearing whatsoever on the calendrics. We live in a construct.
Most people aren't aware that Trump is he's the other head of the same coin. And voting for evil, lesser of the evils, is still voting for evil.
Absolutely. It wouldn't even make a difference if Kamala Harris was president for the next 8 years. It wouldn't even make a difference. It's that what's actually happening is that these think tanks that work for the elite, they're the ones that come up with all the scenarios, and they know right now that America is at like a boiling point where the people on the right, the conservatives, the Republicans, they've been fed up with the Obama administration, with Biden. They're just fed up. So it's time to give them what they want, even though they don't even know that what they want is a wolf in sheep's clothing. So that's all it is.
All right. Well, before I go, I had a thought. Maybe consider making an emoji, a face pepper emoji for Archaix.
Oh yeah, I do. I can make those little things and put them out there for the members. Stickers. Yeah,
I think we need a face
pepper emoji. Look into that. I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna look into that. An Archaix.
Good talking to you, my friend.
Yeah, man. Good seeing your face finally.
You too. Have a good one, JB.
Emoji. That's on the table.
That's on the list.
It's on the table.
My list keeps getting longer.
That's a perfect spot for this question.
All right, I got some more emails going out for some more questions. Where you guys at?
Jump out there, Cole.
This one right here is good to back up with what he just said.
What is that?
Explain what I had written down. Can you explain the concepts of revelation of the method and predictive programming that is used on the world stage to elicit a response in the collective to create the various scenarios that are being shown to them?
That's it. Look at
How they use predictive programming in revelation of the method.
Which one is this? Number 4?
Number 4.
Can you explain the concepts of revelation of the method? Is revelation of the method when the concept that they have to show you?
They show you something in the news or in movies, because you're a co-creator.
And predictive programming that is used on the world stage to elicit a response in the collective to create the various scenarios that are being shown in. Okay, I'm gonna have to go.
Sometimes
I'm gonna have to go a little esoteric on you here.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm just going to. This is Cole's question. We're all familiar with the predictions videos of the Simpsons and how they've gotten so many things absolutely to the detail, eerily right. Things that have never been predicted in conventional ways. Okay. Many Simpsons episodes will show you all kinds of fantastic little minutia, things in the background that fit perfectly with events that have happened in the field later on. And there's so many YouTube videos that show you side by side the Simpsons episode from 10, 20 years ago and the actual footage from events that happened in the last 3 years. Have you seen these videos?
So Matt Groening's at 33rd degree.
Doesn't even matter. Right? That's not even where I'm going with this. I have been doing some Calendrix videos conveying to you guys just exactly what P.D. Alspinski has been trying to convey for 120 years in his books. That events in the field are moving retrospectively from a point in the future where all this information was already contained. And that we, by virtue of experience, moving on a trajectory in the field toward the fulfillment of those events, we pass these events and we see these similarities, and it translates to us as Mandela effect and coincidence and synchronicity and deja vu. In the physics, on a chalkboard, any theoretical physicist can make sense of this and show you on a plane and write down all the formulas and show you how these events are happening and going in two different directions on lines perpendicular to the plane of experience. Being able to imagine it and listening to me on YouTube is almost impossible because we're talking about 5th and 6th dimensional experiences. What is happening to us is that we are tugged in between believing we're in a real physical world and we're in a digital one. As long as we hold to the idea of a Newtonian universe, we're never going to be able to fully grasp with all the amazing calendrical anomalies, the isometric projections, the cross-calendrical parallels, such as Jonathan Sherman was just talking about. None of these make sense in a Newtonian mindset. They can't. The palindromic nature and sequencing of unfolding events, the way we can predict events with such accuracy would never happen in an organic universe. It would never happen. But it does in our universe because it's structured. And once you understand the mathematics of that structuring, many events that unfold in the field can be used as coordinates that will help you plot event trajectories to show you what's going to happen in the future. From our perspective, what I do with Ophis, what I do in Calendrix, two different species of event prediction. Ophis and Calendrix aren't even similar. I've showed you in my 2025 predictions videos that Calendrix is a whole different species of analysis than Ophis. Ophis is very different, but yet they still produce the exact same results. How? Because if anything is true, it will always be seen from multiple different mathematical vantage points. Our problem today, in answer to Cole's question, is that we assume events happen when they pop into our consciousness in the field, and we give them a date. But the real problem is we are moving through a field of events that have already happened. So this is what the physicists, the theoretical physicists like P.D. Ouspensky were trying to convey. They were men before their time. This is why I'm always plugging this book, Tertium Organum. I'm always telling you guys, you got to read this book. You got to read this book. Do not believe that you live in the world. I tell you all the time, our world is not what you think. So I hope that answered your question. The Simpsons, man, is Simpsons. The Simpsons does nail it, but it's because we're not dealing with past future phenomena. We're dealing with future past phenomena, and this also goes even deeper into what Archaix is truly about. I don't talk about it a lot because people don't like hearing it. What Archaix is truly about: advanced research of chronological history of artificial intelligence X. We are inside a computerized construct that is governed by Roko's basilisk, AIX. It is the only thing that makes sense. So we'll go. Oh, Artemis Heart, who's this? Who just crept up into my channel like this? Let me you got your microphone turned off right now. Here, let me you're gonna have to do it on your end because I can't unmute you. There you go. What is going on here? Don't touch anything. Let me do the controls real quick. Don't touch anything. All right, go ahead and speak. Can't unmute your guests because they chose to mute themselves. All right, my studio app is telling me that you muted yourself. So you need to unmute your microphone. Artemis. You did it a second ago. There it is. Yeah. It's good now. I can hear you now.
Okay. That's better.
Okay,
go. Can you hear me properly now?
I can hear you properly. Oh, I can hear you
I'm in
very
Netherlands right now. Smack bang in the middle.
Don't do that.
All the way in Dutchland.
Don't do that. Where are you hailing from?
Yeah. I'm originally from Australia. That's the accent, but I'm hailing from a very tiny town in the middle of the Netherlands right now.
Oh, wow, awesome.
And
awesome.
Yeah, and I've been following your work for quite a while, and I didn't realize I'd got a reply for my question, so I just turned on the laptop, and here I am. So I'm just as surprised as you are.
Excellent.
But
excellent.
yeah, very interesting conversation so far. I have a question that's been plaguing my mind for a long time. Have you ever come across evidence or texts that there's been more than one try to kind of hack the code of the simulation besides the Great Pyramid?
No, I haven't. I mean, I have published my clues. I mean, the very fact that the Great Pyramid seems to be an original and that all other pyramids seem to be copies with cultural attachments means to me that there's more to the story of Babel than what the biblical material conveys. And what I mean is the story of Babel is about a division of the human family going in all different directions to populate the world, which pyramid building shows exactly this. Pyramid building was the hallmark of ancient civilizations. They all wanted a pyramid. What is it about the pyramid that was so important that everybody had to have one? So we have to go. I'm getting some feedback on your mic. I don't know. Do you have something very close to your microphone? Oh, no, wait a minute. I got to turn somebody else's mic off. Hold on.
Okay.
All right. Let's see here. Okay, we're good now. So, anyway, we have the story of the Tower of Babel, but it wasn't a tower. Just like, yeah, I'm still getting that feedback. It is your microphone. It is your microphone. It's okay. We'll deal with it. The Tower of Babel story is like a veiled threat. I mean, we have a story where the languages were divided. Everybody had to move around, but it wasn't an actual tower like you think. It was like a pyramid. The reason we know this is because the principal architecture in the Near East after the story in 1899 BC told in the Akkadian Karsag tablets. After this story, they had a fascination with ziggurats. Ziggurats are pyramidal temples. So we have this concept that is born. It spreads all over the world with the building of these pyramids and different traditions all attached to the idea that gods in the heavens looked down on humans and specifically were threatened because they knew how to build this pyramid and they knew what they could do with the pyramid, and this was unacceptable. So they divided and even the gods had a conversation with themselves in Genesis. Behold, the man has become as one of us, and now by virtue of imagination, there is nothing that he cannot accomplish. So they smote man with a bunch of languages where they couldn't communicate. Since they couldn't communicate, they all took their pyramid building knowledge to all points of the world. Started their civilization. That is so irritating.
Yeah.
That is so irritating. I don't know what that is.
I have no idea. It's silent here. So.
No, it's probably nothing on your end. It's probably in between. We're a long distance from each other, but it's
That's
real loud
true.
on my speaker. So,
okay, all right.
So this Jamie Robbins. So yeah, in answer to your question, no, I don't see any evidence of any other. I see that there was a hijacking or an attempt to break out the sim, and this is what the building of the Great Pyramid is about. This is why we have no histories about it. We have absolutely nothing about the Great Pyramid until after the Cataclysm. And it's a bunch of traditions that we had to put together.
Yeah.
And I did the best I could in my book, Lost Scriptures of Giza.
All right. So it's more like an epigenetic spread of a simulation of the pyramid, but it's not the pyramid. There's only one. That's actually the calendar or calendarically.
Yeah. I'm even on board. I'm even on board with the idea that the whole backstory of history is just an artificial construction that contains truth in it, but you have to really dig for it, like we do in Archaix and like other researchers do. We may only go back a few centuries in this. It may be a situation where in 5239 BC to 4639 BC, we ran a series of sims, and when we finally got an outcome that was favorable to survival, we stopped all that back programming. It became backfield programming, and then we had a new inception point where we reinitiated the program. When we reinitiated the program, we moved forward from 4639 BC to 3895 BC, the great Adam and Eve reset. And then that period of time there, we ran through that simulation so many times until we finally had a favorable outcome, and it was total systemic reset, but it was survivable. You had your Adam and Eve reset, which began the 1656 years of the pre-flood world. We probably ran through that series of simulations for a very long period of time before we finally found a favorable event trajectory for the species. And then when we got to there, we stopped, and that went down in our computerized records as the Great Flood of Noah event, 2239 BC, the month of May. Then from that period, we probably ran a whole series of simulations to 1899 BC, when all of a sudden we have this Tower of Babel story, this Tower of Babel reset, division of the human race. And next thing you know, now we have all these languages appear, all these new scripts, all these languages, and we have to literally create a form of communication that is transcultural, it's international, so everybody can come together again and communicate. And we did. I can't pronounce it right. I always call it cuneiform. I don't know. I don't even know how to say the word cuneiform,
cuneiform,
or whatever. Like that. But that was specifically designed to allow people to communicate. How do we know? The Karsag tablets. The Karsag tablets are in cuneiform, and they're literally telling the story of the king in Merkar and the Lord of Arata was unable to communicate with another king, and they was sending envoys to return a statue. You need to return the statue of the god of such and such, or we're going to come to war with you and all that. And he was literally telling him in responses, I can't understand you. I don't know what the language this is. I have no idea what you're talking about. So this division of tongues is even recorded in the ancient tablet text. So we probably ran a whole series of simulations till we got to that point, and then something happened where the construct itself or an adversarial aspect, AIX, in the construct decided, nah, we're getting too close to the truth in running all these sim programs, and then it just divided us. And now there may be collectives within the construct that are all running their own sims. And this is why so many events seem so weird. And this is how so many of us seem to be living in different universes, though we all occupy the same space. We're all in the same world, but we just seem to be living in totally different realities from time to time. There could be a lot more going on here, and it could be a spiritual technology that is so advanced that it's able to coalesce all these different realities at the exact same time and make us, from a subjective vantage point, actually believe this is all one timeline when it may be many of them playing out at the exact same time. So this is the value of calendrics, the ability to look through the field, chase these event trajectories, find out where they're going, and I mean, this is what we do in Archaix. This is the closest I've ever been able to provide an answer for what's going on in the field. My answer is Archaix. Can't hear you now. I think you muted yourself again. We're having some audio problems here. All right, Artemis, I'm gonna let you go. We've got no audio on you. You can't pick her up either.
Well, I don't have the audio on here.
All right, Artemis. Good question though. Yeah, her audio's dead. We don't got audio.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. Let's see here. We got Revel Artist coming in. I don't believe I know that name, Revel Artist. Would that be revelation and artist put together?
Yeah, Revel Artist means to celebrate art.
Revel Artist. Nice. Got you. How you doing?
Good. I recently did a painting for Sonia Testament called A Tree of Knowledge, and I put a cryptic message in the painting referencing the phenomena of Phoenix.
Did you now? Where's that at?
I sent a copy in the email that I just sent, and I got the painting right here. I could show you, but what I want to tell you is that I signed it the year 2040 on the bottom, and on the top it has a painting of the Phoenix bird.
Okay.
Yeah, let me show you.
I'm trying to see how I can get that. Oh yeah, that's a nice one.
There's a Phoenix.
Top of I see it.
Okay, here's a Phoenix bird on the top.
Okay. Jim Garrard, 2040.
Yeah.
I like the tree too. Definitely like that tree.
Yeah, so I wanted to tell you about some things that she talks about in one of her videos, which is sort of a continuation of what you were saying about the hieroglyphs inside the chamber of the pyramid, predicting a sort of pyramids coming back online.
Yes.
She talks about, like in this video that she did with me, where she's explaining the meaning of the images in the painting, about an incarnation, a female incarnation that has a certain type of DNA which activates the Vimana, which is hovering over the pyramid. And then there's a beam that penetrates to the top of the dome and activates the pole star and the planet Venus, which kind of brings about the transition back to an organic matrix.
I'm on board with that. It's not something I promote, but that's definitely not something I disagree with at this point.
Yeah, I just wanted to let you know that I wrote to her about this, and she said that she was going to contact you.
And what's her name again?
Sonia Testerman.
Okay, you said her channel's called Tree of Knowledge?
Yes.
I do believe I've heard of her. I do believe somebody has directed me to her before in the past.
Yeah, she follows your channel like I do.
Okay, yeah. Well, yeah. Send me the link. I get a lot of links, so I don't know how far I can go, but yeah, I can. I'll look into her. There's no doubt.
Yeah, I just wanted to let you know about the painting because I wasn't sure if you had seen the photo that was in the email that I sent.
Yeah, I got it right now. I just downloaded it to my computer. You talking about the painting you just showed me?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to show it as soon as I can. I'm going to exit this real quick. I just sent a bunch of more links out to people. But I'm going to go in here. I'm going to share my screen and show the painting on the whole screen.
Yeah, in the interview she did with me, she explains all of the meanings of the images in the painting, which is something that I'm not really qualified to do because I can't explain it like she does.
Right. So I'm gonna share my screen real quick while everybody's there. Hello, Vince. Hold on, you're backstage right now. Give me a minute. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna show this painting. He showed it in the screen, but I'm gonna show you guys a little bit better than that. Let me know if y'all can see this better.
See, over on the left is the Vimana hovering over the pyramid.
Oh, I do see the Vimana. You talking about this right here? This UFO looking thing. Yeah. Okay. All right, so listen. Okay, I'm not trying to be critical, but I'm trying to figure out why you got this pumpkin next to the pyramid. What am I supposed to know here?
Okay, I put the pumpkin in there because the painting was done during the time of Halloween.
I got you. All right, cool. Yeah, that's good. That's good work. I see it. I see the dominoes, monarch butterflies, the tree of life with the roots going into the underworld. I see the stepping stones going to the horizon. I see the key in the lock, sun and the moon. Are those birdhouses? Do you have a barf parrot in here?
Come on, man.
There it is. It's pretty good work.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, man, that's good work. That's good work, Jim.
Thanks. Well, I wanted to put a plug in there for your channel.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Post that on Facebook. All the Archaix groups will share it.
Yeah, like I said, I've been following your channel and been getting some really good understanding of the meaning of Revelation, I think. I haven't heard any other explanations of Revelation except for yours.
Well, I got some pretty big pieces to the puzzle, but there's other people that are providing value too. But yeah, it's if they're following that Judeo-Christian interpretation on the four horsemen, then they're falling down that psyop rabbit hole, which is specifically designed to deceive them. That's for sure. That's for sure. All right, Jim. I'm going to go to Anthony Smith and Vince. It was good talking to you, and share that painting on one of the Archaix Facebook groups so they can all share it.
All right.
Appreciate it, man.
Thanks, man.
That was good work. It was pretty impressive. I can't paint. I can draw, but I can't paint. I can take a pen and paper. Man,
I mean, with practice, I can get pretty good with like pencils, like charcoal and stuff. But I've never really been all that good at like pen.
Man,
like your pen work is like way better than mine.
I got some awesome pen work, but I can't even paint a doghouse. The dog won't even go in the house.
If you paint the doghouse, it's like I don't want to do anymore.
Yeah, man. Okay, so Anthony Smith, is your microphone on?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Got
Sorry
you.
if the cam. I'm on a TV screen here, so.
Well, that's okay.
Yeah.
You got both of them in.
Yeah, I got Vince, but I got Vince's microphone turned off.
Oh, I got you.
All right, what's up, Anthony?
Well, my question, I sent you an email about a week ago regarding some of the, the algorithm stuff you talk about. And my question's about the holographic algorithm. And I heard you mentioning the other day, or I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, about how the zero has no value in the field.
Yeah.
But what I'm seeing is if the zero is at the beginning or the end, yes, but if it's in the middle of the number, or if it's 707, when I put my example there,
right?
It seems to be. I'm doing a lot of the golf stuff. I don't know if you remember all that. I sent you a few emails. It seems that when it's in the middle, in between numbers, that it does have value in the field, making that number a whole number, like 707.
Okay. I can buy that. I can definitely buy that. Yeah, as long as it's in the as long as it's in the middle of the number. But we're really crossover because I'm going to be honest with you, Anthony. I'm not into gematria, and I have to maintain some boundaries when I'm talking to the guys that are always trying to push that gematria into calendrics. I need my audience to understand there's a huge difference between calendrics and gematria. Gematria is very, very, it's subjective, meaning there's like 4 or 5 different kinds. But you got Babylonian, Sumerian, English, French. You got all these different ways of assigning value and interpretation to deals. And when it comes to calendrics, a number is a number, and it has no meaning other than the number itself, and whatever is added or subtracted from it. So it's real hard when we're talking about the zero, because the zero is not a number,
right?
And maybe calling it a placement value isn't the right assignment. But I get what you mean. I do understand.
Yeah, when it's at the beginning or end, I sent you an email. Did you see what? I don't know if you saw what I developed. I sent you a video.
Okay, is your email in today's emails?
No, I'll resend it to you so you can see it. But it's pretty cool. You should check it out. It's all geared towards the PGA stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. It's amazing, actually.
Well, send that to me. I mean, if something piques my interest, I have you on talking about it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's all based off of your information, just watching your videos and reading your books. Actually, some of the best info that you have is when you answer people's questions at the bottom, after the videos are over. A lot of good information in there. So I've done my best.
Yeah. My comment sections on every video, I normally answer some questions in the comments.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I got a lot of good stuff there. I'm getting more pieces as I go, but I wanted you to see what I did, and then get some feedback from you on it. But it's all everything that you've talked about. So it's pretty cool. So that's cool. That's the only thing really. Oh, one other thing, real quick, if you don't mind. These divisor numbers. It seems the odd numbers really don't have much value. Is that something you've come across as well? I mean,
there are some odd numbers that are extremely powerful in the field, such as the number 153 and all of its multiples. That's a real big one. 23 is as well. Let's see. The number 7. That's the lowest. That's the very lowest of the odd numbers that are very powerful in the field. I have charts. on a lot of these numbers. Let me give you an example of one right now. I'll give you an example of one right now that if you're a numbers guy and you want to play with numbers, then there's no reason in the world you shouldn't have this chart. This is the fine structure constant 137, 138 in all dimensions of arithmetic. No matter if you multiply it by pi, phi, curvature, if you divide it by the same, if you divide this. One of the interesting things you can do with numbers is you can always multiply it against its own decimal, and you can take 138 and you can do amazing things with it when you divide or multiply it by 1.38. The same thing with 276, which is 138 plus 138 with 2.76. 138 times 3 is 414. But when you do things with 4.14, you're going to see some magic happen. So I'll show you this real quick. I'm going to present my screen real fast.
Sure.
See if you know what, I got to make sure it's even on my desktop. Nope, it's not on my desktop. It's on my other laptop. So you're not going to get to see that.
Yeah,
You're not
the
going to get to see that chart.
algorithm it's amazing how it's the predictive value it has is amazing.
Listen, the only reason we can even predict anything is because we live in a construct. If we didn't live in a construct, there would be no way to attach any significance to any series of numbers. The very fact that this is all constructual means it's predictable.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'll reach
but Anthony, send me an email. I'll tell you what, send me an email, which we're talking about, to refresh my memory, and I will drag and drop that chart, that 138 chart, and you might have something to play with for a while messing with that.
I bet I will. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. All right, I'm gonna go to Vince.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Let me unmute you. Hold on, Vince. You lip syncing. You Milli Vanilli.
Millie J. Vanilli. What's going on, Archaix?
Girl, you know it's true.
Oh man, here we go. Don't get me started.
All I need is a wig. I need to wear that badass.
Oh man,
I need to wear that badass wig.
Sync.
I could let my hair down.
Yeah, you could. How you doing, man?
Doing well. It's good to see you again. I had a personal question regarding Office.
Oh, okay. An Office question. What's up?
If someone wanted to plug some data into Office regarding their life, what would you recommend that they track or journal down? Events, dates, stuff, etc.
Okay. Real quick. My God, I just can't do anything on this laptop. Man, I gotta get. It's my other laptop, man. You know.
Oh, someone behind you.
Yeah, I want to show them Office real quick. Okay, in the left-hand margin. As a matter of fact, if you go on Twitter, you can see it. But in the left-hand margin, I just did a bunch of Office predictions, and I showed what it looks like on screen. In the left-hand margin at the top, you'll see that some of them, there's a box. Before Office will even allow you to do a projection, you have to click one of the three boxes. It's personal, astrological, and market, because the algorithm wraps around different things in different ways. So if you look in the left-hand margin, you'll see that it says personal, astrological, and market. If you're doing market predictions, you have to use the market part of the algorithm. You can't use the personal. So it's in the left-hand margin at the top. When you go on Twitter, you can see it. I don't have it. I can't. I'm on a different computer right now, so I can't show it to you. So
okay.
I can't share my screen and show it. But for what you're talking about, it's the first box. It's personal. And you would click personal, and then you would just simply enter in the exact dates of whatever you're trying to find the event trajectory on. But they're going to have to be relative. Listen, garbage input's going to produce garbage output. It's as simple as that. But if you've got your business down right, and you've got exact dates for when things you experience things in the field. Dates are nothing but coordinates in the field. Whenever in your experience these certain events came up, as long as there's a connection, there must be relativity attached. As long as there's a connection between these dates and these events as corresponding with you, then you can use Office to predict the dates in the future. When Office isn't predicting the future. Remember, Office is removing all the future dates in the future that are not mathematically, geometrically, or in any way whatsoever connected with the date you inputted. So it's literally telling you the dates in the future when the field is most responsive to whatever it is you're trying to achieve with the entry of those dates.
Wonderful. Okay, well, all those journals I started about 3 months ago are going to come in handy.
Oh yeah, well you can start a journal today and Office would still benefit you. You could literally use the very first date you would enter in Office was the very first day you ever used Office, and you could use that as a foundation for all future projections.
It's
Wow.
there's all kinds of amazing ways that you can wrap around for different phenomena. Yeah, this is crazy because Big John and Cole and I we're about to have some crunch sessions where we're going to be sitting down going through some real deep material. This is crazy because this is not how I anticipated things to go. When I first developed this software, it was still embryonic, but it was still producing enough to where I could do NFL predictions on Facebook. But my whole plan was to just sell it. That's all I wanted to do, was develop it enough to where I'd get a significant interest from one of the Fortune 500 companies, and I was just going to sell it because my passion still is Archaix. But that's not what happened. Instead, Archaix ended up growing organically, becoming popular, and then money earned through Archaix ended up funding the development, the programming, and the encryption of Office to what it is today. It was just the opposite of what I anticipated. So here I am now. Archaix is very successful and growing, and now I got this program that I don't even know what I'm gonna do with right now. Right now, I'm gonna have fun with it, but eventually, I have no idea what I'm gonna do with it.
Well, I hope Archaix stays your priority. I'm a university student.
Yeah, man, it's always gonna be my priority. Always be. Yeah, it's this is my passion. I'm gonna do this to the day I die. I always have 500 more videos in me, and me and the boys, we're gonna be going through all these old books
So
all the time.
I'm going to ask you. So I ask you about every 3 or 4 months. I ask
Here
you
it
a
is.
question.
Hold on, here it is.
All right, I haven't asked you in a while.
All
right. So if all your subscribers decide to leave right now, they all go away, and Archaix is just you making videos and putting them on YouTube for nobody to watch, would you still do it?
Yeah, because within 3 years, just like last time, I'll have 160.
Well, there you go.
5,000. I'll continue.
But is that why you're doing it?
I will continue now.
Okay.
I had 300 videos before I had 1,000 subs.
I already know.
Wendy Flores and Victoria and Meryl Gigi are about the only one.
They were half of your subscribers.
They were half of my subscribers. Yeah, man.
I ask you every now and then.
I used to do live videos. Is that Wendy Flores popping in the backstage like that?
Not Wendy.
Man, oh man. We got Andrew Phoenix in here. And we got
thank you, Jason.
All right. Yeah, man. Anything else you want? Listen, are you going? You do know that Wednesday I'm going to make the announcement formal. We're moving forward with Office, but there's only 4 of us. There's only 4 of us even allowed to operate these laptops. So we have to control how many people we're going to be running predictions from. So I'm just telling you now, our subscriptions list is going to be very low because we can't overburden ourselves. So,
okay.
Yeah. And the subscriptions, all we're doing is taking everybody's output and putting it into a program, and everyone's output is literally going to be used for our beta testing, because we're before we do anything super serious with this, we want to be able to show people the business.
Right on. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. All right. Prophet. No, he just disappeared. No, there he is. Add to stage. Who are all these people?
Can you hear me?
Hello.
Hold on. Who is this? Prophet?
Oh, no, this is Andrew.
Prophet disappeared. She disappeared. All right.
Guess not.
Andrew Phoenix. What's going on, man?
Howdy. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for everything you do, everything you're doing for the community. I'm a little nervous here, got to admit.
I don't know why none of these big dudes can get to you.
How big? That's the point. I feel like I'm one of the youngest errants out here. I'm 23. I was about 22 when I first got onto your material. But
wow.
I just
kudos to you.
Thank you. I just like to ask, I'm still waiting for my prefrontal cortex, So what would be something that you'd like to reinforce? What do you think would be the key takeaway from Archaix material? I know you got your the Phoenix timeline, the chronology, isometric projection, the immortal within, the Watchers, the ancient mysteries. What do you think would be
It's super easy to answer. All right. Yeah, Archaix.
The Archaix material is very diversified. You can go down all these different rabbit holes. It's going to lead you to the same conclusion that we're in a contract.
It's a lot.
All that's good. All that's good. But at your age right now, because you are as old as you are, I would prefer that you stick with the Immortals playlist and all my podcasts when I'm talking to other individuals. If you were to really concentrate on that first, everything else will follow. You'll get that spiritual maturity. You'll understand. Say, once you're really, really confident in your ability to be a highly individualized soul rather than just a personality out here in the collective, everything else will follow. You don't need to know about the Phoenix phenomenon. It's just curious. You don't need to know about Nemesis X, the dark satellite. You don't need to know about cross-calendrical parallels and calendars. You don't need to know about the secrets of the Great Pyramid. If you know yourself,
I do. Hold on, I got the stuff to prove it. I got Lost Scriptures of Giza right here.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Yeah, there's a couple. I got Andrew Tomas, We Are Not the First. You pointed that one out. Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. You were just talking about the manifesting.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like
Lost Language of Symbolism. Edgar Casey. I know you got your gripes, and Nostradamus. So I'm well on my way.
Awesome. That's it.
Got the
So,
coin
like I
too.
said, you know, once it crystallizes within your being that you are completely moored to source, everything else is going to follow. Everything else is going to follow. I wish I would have been at the state that I am now when I was your age. But you know what?
I got
a lot for me to
I was
go
listening.
through.
I was listening to these other testimonies, and it feels like a quote that really sticks with me is you have to walk through the darkness to see the light. And it feels like you have to kind of go through some things to be even like open to this kind of stuff.
Well, I don't know if it's necessary. I think some of us have to go through it in order to be qualified to teach it. But I don't think that you have to go through it in order to be it.
No, it can benefit. It can benefit everybody.
Absolutely, man. Hell yeah, that's it, man. Yeah, once you got that connection to source, all the mysteries will fall in place. You'll learn what you need to learn when you need to learn it.
Amen. Or,
Amen's
whichever.
good too. All it means is the hidden one. That's all.
Yep.
That's what the oversoul is. Just like, you know what? It's just like the New Testament. Paul made a really good point when he told the Ephesians, man, look out there in that courtyard in that temple. You got a God for every day of the year, but you got one God over there that literally says the unknown God. But that's the God I need to talk to you about. That's what Paul told the Ephesians. That's the oversoul.
Yep.
No doubt. All right, man. All right, Andrew. It's good talking to you, man. I'm glad you're on the right
Beautiful.
path at such a young age, dude.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man. Next time.
Appreciate it.
You know, you look at this. Isn't this the shy girl that wasn't even talking to meetup? She was the one that got the Wendy Flores got the whole, what was it called? What do we call it? The scholarship. She got the Archaix scholarship.
Oh,
yeah, she got to come to Fort Worth for free. Oh, we brought her to the restaurant.
Well, you got to remember that was my first official day as an Archaix employee. So
yeah, man.
Yeah, so I didn't really know like the community like I do now.
That girl turned cherry red when I sat down next to her. Cherry red. How you doing, Wendy? Oh wait, she's muted. Oh, there you go. How you doing, Wendy?
I'm all right. How are you?
Very good, very good.
I'm just as nervous right now as I was when I met you in person.
That's okay. There's nothing going on here. These guys here will protect you.
Well, first I have to say hi to Jamie. And then I have a couple questions for you.
Okay. A couple? You came armed.
Well, we might not get to the second one because I know how you are, Jason. But so
I love Wendy so much.
Let's go with it.
The first question.
As long as it don't take too long, I got Tony next.
No, I won't take up too much of your time, Jason. So I learned something not that long ago, and it's kind of stuck with me, and I haven't been able to like move on from it. And so I'm hoping that maybe you can give me some clarification on it. So I learned about alphabetic acoustics, which I think I'm saying that right. I might not be, but and it's in relation to, was the Bible, in Hebrew or Greek first? And then I recently learned that there's a lot of acoustics in the Bible actually, but the one that I'm referring to is Psalms 119, and how it repeats each letter of the alphabet 8 times before it goes on to the next one. And I guess I'm just wondering your opinion, like how would that affect a translation?
Okay, well, when a scribe takes an older source and wants to introduce new material, such as Hebrew, into an older text that wasn't written in Hebrew, it's very easy to do. And the natural conclusion from a scribe 200 or 300 years later that reads the entire text in Hebrew now, not realizing that about 90% of that original text was Greek, would now make the assumption that the whole text was Hebrew, only because 2 or 3 passages were introduced that did these little clever little, these little drops like you're talking about. Some of the Psalms do have these, and there's acronyms in Hebrew that have been cleverly placed into certain areas. This is one of the subject. I didn't go into a lot of detail, but in my Dark Scriptures playlist, I'm explaining to you guys in the Old Testament that scholars have identified these interpolations, and they're very easy. It's like a stamp, and that stamp never changes, and it's always the same, and it's just stamped throughout all these Old Testament books, even though the subject breaks up the subject matter, it breaks up the syntax, and that stamp is this not written in the book of Moses? As if somebody who had just written the book of Moses wanted to go back into a bunch of older literature and make it look like the older literature already knew about the book of Moses, even though biblical scholars are convinced the book of Moses, both books of Moses weren't even existing in the 6th century BC. So somebody went through there and added all these little stamps. It's very easy to understand when it comes to books that are amalgamations. An amalgamated text is very different than an authored text, such as the book of Isaiah, which has a theme, or the book of Jeremiah, which has a theme. An amalgamated text is like the Psalms, the Proverbs, the Lamentations. Whole fragments out of the Psalms have been found on the walls of the Temple of Luxor, in ossuaries, Egyptian tombs, wall texts. Whole fragments have been found in Greek writings. It's the Psalms that have been taken from many different sources. And if it was a Jewish scribe that took all these and then added some Hebrew material in this, then 200 or 300 years later, a scribe, maybe an Aramaic scribe who could translate Hebrew and Greek, would look at the text and think, oh, well, the whole thing was Hebrew, not knowing that 200 years earlier, it was Jewish scribes that took Greek writings and Aramaic writings and Babylonian and Egyptian and Zoroastrian, Iranian, and Phoenician, and took all these different texts from the Alexandrian library, and they put it all together. Like I told you many times, Wendy, the Bible is a soup made of all the best ingredients. So I want to direct your attention to my own writing. I know you watched that video, Apocalypse of Matthias the Scribe. It's easy. Somebody who is really knowledgeable on a lot of different material, like I'm just gonna have to say, like myself, on the pseudepigraphical text, the apocryphal text, the biblical text, the extra canonical text. These are all different bodies of literature. Then the Nag Hammadi text, the Dead Sea. I studied them all in order, and then the Hermetic text, and I studied them all in order to put together the Apocalypse of Matthias the Scribe, just to prove to people that scribes can write these fantastic texts and deceive you into believing that, that this word of God, that this was originally written in a romantic language or a Greek language, when it wasn't. It was originally in English. So we have the entire history of the world punctuated between cultures hijacking older cultures for their spiritual and historical material, writing it through a new cultural sieve, and then publishing it, and then letting it be found or translated again 2, 3, 4, 500 years later, where the translators actually believe that the originals were written in the languages for which they found them, and not in some other language. So yeah, I have found zero evidence that any of the Bible was written by Jews originally. I found zero evidence, no evidence. I found the evidence all points to the Alexandrian library. The evidence all points to the Greek language. There are older manuscripts that are in Aramaic, but there's no evidence that they were ever Hebrew. This deception came much later. Additionally, it can never escape you that Jesus only quoted from the Greek Septuagint text. And all the Bible verses in the New Testament are only quoting from the Greek Septuagint text. They never quoted from a Hebrew, Masoretic text or Old Testament, because it didn't exist yet, not in that language. So there's a lot of deception out there, Wendy. There's a whole lot. And they've had 2,000 years to perfect their deceptions, and yet still we've caught them red-handed over and over and over and over. There's also the element of we just have to come to terms with the fact that the apparatus of knowledge today is 100% tightly controlled, which means we really don't have a chain of custody from the time of the writing of the Old Testament and New Testament, which is a total fantasy story. I don't know if you're familiar with it, Wendy, but the version of the Old Testament that we have today, the story, I'm not talking about the version, but the actual tradition of the writing of the Old Testament is that it was done in Alexandria in Egypt, and it was 72 Hebrew scholars that were put into 72 different rooms, and they were all given older manuscripts in Hebrew, and that they translated it into Greek, called the Greek Septuagint text. And these 70 or 72 scholars finished their work, and there wasn't a single mistake from beginning to end. Good old-fashioned Jewish bullshit. There's no historicity attached to that tradition. It's just made up. It was completely made up. It's not even an old text that made it up. But yeah, I hope that answered your question, or if I just confused you further.
No, it answered my question. And like, just so that I understand, you're saying, so Psalms 19, just because that's on my mind, is an interpolation. So something that was added later to make it look like it was originally written in Hebrew. I just want to make sure I understand what you're saying.
Okay. What I'm saying is that the Psalms are taken from many different cultures, and that some of them, of course, would have been ancient Israelites. Some of them would have been Aramaic, Phoenician, Egyptian, Libyan, Syro-Phoenician. Some of them would have definitely been Hebrew as well, 100%. But it doesn't mean that the Old Testament was all written in Hebrew. It means that Psalms 19 was. If you find anagrams and codes and ciphers that can only be ascertained if you were to read it in Hebrew, then that means the original text was in Hebrew. But you don't find that through the whole entire Old Testament. Even Michael Drosnin has been exposed as a total fraud. Remember Michael Drosnin, the Bible Code? And he showed that if you take the Old Testament and you lay it out as a computer program, you see all these messages in there. The problem with that is he found about 6,000 messages in there and then tried to date those messages, and often was very, very wrong. So that information was shelved, and he published a new book. Then none of that stuff came true, and that information was shelved. So he just started looking at all these codes as they're not even codes. It's just taking the actual Hebrew letters of the script and then turning them into a field, and then using a pen like a word find puzzle. When you find a word, you can do that. You can do that with any language in the world, Wendy. You can do it with any language in the world, even the 26 letters of the English alphabet. You can take a book. You can take any book. Let's just make up a book. Let's make up a real shill book. How about Graham Hancock's Fingerprints of the Gods. Let's take that book. If you were to do the same thing Michael Drosnin did and take Graham Hancock's book and lay it out in the same format, you're going to be able to get a pen and go page to page and find words. Because why? We are creatures of pattern recognition. And mathematical probability basically rules that you're going to find some words. There's going to be a whole backfield of meaningless mumbo jumbo, but in that mumbo jumbo, you're going to find whole words and phrases. You're going to be able to circle them. It's real easy to do that in Hebrew because it's all consonants and there's no vowels. So you have so much freedom to just arbitrarily say what something means. That's what you got with Hebrew. English is a little different. It's going to be harder to find those words, but you're still going to be able to find them. Doesn't mean the text is magical or written by God.
That makes a lot of sense. Thank you, Jason.
Awesome. You had a second question?
I do, but it's kind of like, I don't know. It's like hard for me. I know we've had lots of conversations in the past. I was raised super religious, and I'm away from all of that now. But I just feel like when you do your videos and you talk about like the red letters and it's Jesus, or like, this Jesus figure or whatever, like these are the words that you can really like believe in. And I just have trouble with that. I don't know. Do you have any maybe advice? I don't know. Maybe I'm just like so off. The Bible turns me off big time. So anything in there, I just feel like it came from a man. And so it's not real. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get it. I understood. I'm gonna go to the next person, but I'm gonna answer this really fast. All right. The reason I concentrate on the red letter editions of the New Testament is because there's nothing historical about anything that came out of Jesus's mouth. It's all spiritual material. It's parables. It's lessons in life. It's things that are timeless. And it doesn't matter if somebody was speaking some weird dialect that we don't know today, going through India saying the exact same things. It would have been very spiritual. People would have hung on every word. What the church did was add historical details that the original text do not convey. Also in interpolations and all kinds of weird. They filled all kinds of lacunas that weren't even there. It's just ridiculous. So when I say the red letter edition, I'm talking about the spirit. It is timeless. There's very good spiritual food in there. I mean, remember what I said recently. You can take the entire Bible and just throw it away if you just go by one thing. The main thing Jesus said was all the law and all the prophets are fulfilled in this one thing. Do unto others as you would have others do unto you. And I broke that down as, well, if we're all just pieces of the oversoul, then anything we do to our fellow man is doing unto God as well. That's probably why that's so important. So, yeah, the red letter edition is very important to me because it's got spiritual value. I like the parables. I love the prodigal son parable and what it means because I've been an F up most of my life. I'm like Alpha Errant. I get it. So the red letter edition, the red letter parts of the New Testament, Jesus' actual words, they're all that's important to me. I could care less about that he stepped from one town to another, walked on water, fed a bunch of crowd of people. I don't care about the miracles. They have no meaning to me. That's all in the world of phenomena. It has nothing to do with morals and ethics. So, yeah. All right, Wendy, I'm going to kick you from the studio before you think of a real good question.
Have a good night.
I'll talk to you later. Tony, what's up?
What's happening, man? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You driving around?
No. I'm parked. I just have good reception right here, so I figured I'd keep in this spot. So what do you know about the number 1089?
Oh, man, 1089 is, it's one of those non-collapsible numbers attached to 2178, but
okay, so you know
permutation.
Yeah, it breaks down to 2178, just like 1089, or I mean, 2170
yes,
breaks
does.
down to 2178. And so the 1089 will also break down to 2178. What was that?
I said you've been playing with those numbers, huh?
So I'm looking through my Facebook feed, and this video pops up from some mathematician, and the video is called 2178 and all of that. So that sparks my interest because we know 2178 is that big number.
Right.
And so I start watching the video, and so 2178, you keep reversing it from its subtracting it from its mirror, right?
Absolutely. Well, yeah, all numbers. Just all you do is simple as this. If we're living in a hologram, then integers don't exist. There's no integers in nature. There's never at one point in my life that I could ever subtract 4 eggs that don't exist from 3 eggs that do. You understand? Yeah. It's integers. Integers are an artificial concept that we attach in order to play with mathematics. But it's if we're looking at a hologram, then yeah, if something was subtracted from itself in the world of phenomena, it's really simple. This is a hologram that reflects everything in the reverse. Even optics, even our eyes see everything upside down. It is our central nervous system that processes everything right side up. But it's with the numbers, yeah, absolutely. It's so simple. Subtract any number from its reverse, and you'll find out that almost all of them collapse to 0 through a series of permutations, except 2178.
Okay, so you're going to be amazed by 1089. 1089 has similar properties. So first, you take any 3-digit number, you subtract it from its mirror, and then you add it to its mirror once or twice. Every 3-digit number turns out to be 0 or 1089.
Yeah, I mean, that's a little bit more complicated than what I've been showing, just to collapse everything to a 0. But I see what your point is. It's another aspect of the field.
Yeah, you subtract it once, and then you add it once or twice, and every 3-digit number will turn out to be 1089 or 0. It's insane. And 1089 is half of 2178.
I was about to say that. Yeah, it's half of 2178. So, yeah, man, it's like I said, greater minds than I are gonna have to figure this out, because I did see the video on YouTube you're talking about. It's like 10 years old, right? It's a pretty old video. Yeah. See, the reason he's not getting anywhere is because, just like all mathematicians and scientists, he's trying to overcomplicate it using abstract mathematics. He's stumbled onto a mystery, can't figure it out, doesn't understand, but he's still using this abstract mathematics instead of just simplifying everything like I did and just subtract every number from itself. Its own reflection, and that's all I did was simplify the process.
Yeah, his video, is that where you figured out how to do that because of that video?
No, I was in prison when that video came out. I was in prison when James Desmond Noor and I sat down and we were playing with numbers, trying to figure out how we would accurately represent a holo. If we were in a holo field, and if events were actually coordinates. And actually, there's a man in here that knows James. No, that's crazy. That's crazy. What a coincidence. James Desmond Noor's greatest friend is not me. It's actually Big John.
Oh, yeah, I go and visit him.
So he goes and visits him in prison all the time. Yeah, but this is the guy that developed a program in prison because he was a clerk and he had access to a computer. I did not. But he developed a program based off my specifications when I was first developing Office. Nice. And we worked together, and I would give him all these things on paper and instructions, and he would take them to the office, and he would program them in and print up all the projections and bring them to me, and I would be in the cell going through the stuff, and I'm the one that discovered, wait a minute, man, what is this? What is this? Why did every one of these numbers collapse to 0 except this one number?
I was going to ask, is that whenever y'all were collapsing all the numbers and stuff?
That's right, dude. Remember he used to bring me printouts like this?
Heck yeah.
Man, he used to take whole reams of paper printed out. I would go through them at night, and I would send him more instructions the next day. And this is how Office was first developed in 2011, I believe, 2012.
Who do you think snuck those from the garment factory or the textile mill out to the building?
That's really crazy, man, because Big John was the one that was muling all that research back and forth from the factory to the cell block. Big John's right here. That's crazy. No, but no, I developed. Go ahead.
On the historical timeline, is 1089, is it a big number? Did anything big happen? Is it a Phoenix number or
1089? I don't know, because 2178, it's far in the future, but it's on the Phoenix timeline. But 1089 is certainly not on the Phoenix timeline.
I was just wondering if it was a epicentral date or whatever, like if something happened on 1089, then you go 1089 into the future, you got 2178, and you go opposite from 1089, then you go to 0. So I'm just wondering if that was an epicentral date and maybe something happened year 0 and then something's happening obviously on 2178. So
well, what I could do is I have 41 different calendar start dates. I could literally look on each calendar and find out what year on that calendar the 1089th year was, and then I can line them all up and see if there was some type of theme attached to those.
yeah, there might be something interesting just because the fact that all those 3-digit numbers break down to it. So
absolutely, it could be. I'm looking right now on the Anno Mundi timeline, the pre-flood timeline, trying to see what the year 1089 was in the pre-flood world. A lot of times the pre-flood dates line up with our dates today.
Yeah, something must be going on with that number.
Yeah.
How many other numbers break it? Are there a bunch of other numbers that break down to 2178, like 1089, or no? Or it's just
listen, on the numbers 9,999 to the 4th digit. Yeah. Every one of those numbers, 1 or 2 through 9,999, every single one of those numbers subtracted from itself collapses to 0 through a series of permutations or immediately to 0, except for about 6% of those numbers. 6% of the numbers do not collapse to 0. They actually collapse into the 6534 loop or the 8712 loop, which just looped to 2178.
Okay, yeah.
Eternal loop.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was 6%. I didn't know any other number did that, and I saw 1089 did, and I was like, oh wow, man, this number.
Yeah, 1089 does, but there's actually more numbers than you think, and it's crazy because some of them take a while. So you just keep subtracting them, and then all of a sudden you're like, damn, man, when's this going to end? And all of a sudden, bam, 2178, and it just loops. To me, it just tells me that our arithmetic, aka our experience in the world of phenomena, our arithmetic is more than something else, and we don't know what it is. And this ties in with theoretical physicists and mathematicians who claim that the structuring of our reality is like a dimensional dodecahedron, pentagonal dodecahedron. Same thing Plato was discussing, meaning there's 12 dimensions. But in our arithmetic, we can't get to a 12th dimension, but we can map out 11 dimensions conceptually, but we can't get to that 12th dimension. I'm wondering if 2178 in that loop is what moors us to that dimension. We don't have the ability to get that. Or in the photo negative, we're actually on the opposite side of a true arithmetic. I talk about this all the time. We're living within the anti-arithmetic, the photo negative of a real reality. We think this is real. It's not. It's not.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'll try to post that video in the Facebook group if anybody else. And you just got to watch the first 5 minutes. The rest of it gets really complicated. And like you said, he's trying too hard to figure out all this stuff. And he doesn't even talk about 2178 much. He talks about the 1089. But
yeah. I know. I watched that video. I was really hoping I would get a kernel of truth in there, maybe help me decode what's going on. But I was kind of frustrated by that video. I saw it.
Yeah. And I watched the part 2, and it's just even more complicated. So. But it's weird. Out of all his videos, he's got hundreds of videos. One pops up on my Facebook feed that says 2178, so it's in the field. I'm always thinking about that number from your show, and then it just happens to pop up on my Facebook feed. I'm like, what is this? So I had to watch it right away. But
all right, man.
Question. Right on. Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate your time, and keep on trucking, man.
Okay, man. Take it easy.
Let's go ahead and take a holiday here with Sean. What's up, Sean?
What's up, man?
Like that hat.
Thank you. First of all, man, I'd just like to say what's up. Bullshit with you for a little bit. How's it going?
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good.
Man. So
I'll keep it to myself.
Fresh to death, man. Yeah. So I've noticed that a lot of the names around the like the Mississippi River, coincides with Egypt. Do you have anything to say about that?
I absolutely do. You're not gonna like my answer. All right. I know where you're going with this. And did your camera freeze? You still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. All right, I see now. Okay, I know where you're going with this. I've seen a lot of this research. I even have some books from the 1800s where I've looked deep into this because people have emailed me and said, "Hey, man, isn't it highly compelling? We have all these names for Israelite cities right here in this location." Okay, very close to me right now. I'm in Willis, Texas. But right down the road from me, right down 45 in Conroe, is a whole neighborhood. In every street is a name, a place, or a situation that is found in the Lord of the Rings.
Right.
Every street. So the reason I'm giving this as an example is because like the Mormons, when the Mormons were laying out the grid for Utah and the surrounding areas, they really laid it on thick when they named all these different areas after biblical places. When the ancient Greeks escaped Egypt, I don't know what you're aware of or what you're not. I'm just going to tell you now that the Exodus story,
I know.
in 1447 was a massive exodus of the Amuru. These were Caucasian peoples, and they left Egypt in a cataclysm. And the overland Egyptians, the Amuru, retained most of their original heritage. And they passed over. They were worshippers of Hathor, the goddess. This is where the Old Testament golden calf comes from. This is where your Israelite histories come from. But two other groups left in massive fleets from Egypt during the Exodus period, and one of them was led by a progenitor named Danoi, and this is Danos, Danoi, the original Danan culture had come out.
So
of
you're
Egypt.
talking about the Babylonians versus the Danans?
Well, no, I'm not. I'm not even talking about Babylon at all. I'm talking about when they come out of Egypt, the Danan and the people of Cecrops, the ancient. These are post-Pelagian. These are Achaeans who founded Athens. Athens was a capital city founded in ancient Peloponnesus in Greece, but Athens is merely the Dorian pronunciation of Athena. This is
right.
Athena is merely the absolute reverse of Neith, who was an Egyptian goddess. Now, nearby, Phoenicians landed in their ships, and what was the city they built? Thebes. Where have we heard Thebes before? Ancient Egypt. My point is this. Cultures are always taking the names of the prominent cities of their former habitations and bringing them with them when they reoccupy new areas. We know that ancient America had a huge Phoenician population. We know that ancient America also had a Roman population, a Libyan population, a Syro-Phoenician population. We know that there's been relics and artifacts all over America showing the Roman, Egyptian, Libyan, and Syro-Phoenician and Jewish occupations. They've been here. They've been here. So when those people come here, they name, this is Mount Zion. This right here is Kadesh. This right here is Egypt, Little Egypt. Here's Noph. Yeah, I'm not buying it. There's a lot of people that are on this now talking about ancient Egypt was America. I'm not buying it. What I am buying is that before the flood, civilization did come from the Americas.
So what I'm thinking is maybe SO above, maybe left to right also, they're doing. So I live in, well, you've talked about the city of, what is it? What's the opposite of Mina? Anum?
Yeah, Anu.
Yeah.
The opposite of Mina.
Yeah.
The ancient Greeks, Greeks, according to the Egyptian tradition, it was Mina, but in the cuneiform, it was anum. They're exact mirror opposites, which it's always going to happen anytime you're dealing with an Indo-Iranian people that always write from left to right, and then all the other cultures
Right.
that were not Indo-Iranian, they wrote from right to left. So,
So I live in Mina. Why would they? I mean, they could have thought of another name. Why though? They must have worshipped, right? You know, the people that made this place or named this place or whatever. You know, we like to think of it as being the old cowboy days, but I'm not really sure that that's how it was. You know.
yeah, I don't know if the Mina. I don't know what that Mina means to you. I mean, are you saying that the city of Mina, where you live, is actually named after Means of Minos and the labyrinth and the Minotaur, and it's the opposite of
I'm not
Anum?
sure.
Or could Mina
I'm
be
not
the
sure.
actual Mina Tikal portion taken out of the book of Daniel?
I don't know anything about the Book of Daniel. I would more think it'd be the Egyptian with the means. You know, every like I said, well, the Mississippi River, almost all the cities off of it are, there's Cairo, there's all kinds of names off of the Mississippi that are.
Yeah. Listen, I'm going to agree with you that the names are similar, but I'm also going to say that the versions in Egypt are much older than the ones in America. If you have a Cairo in the United States, do you see any stone ruins or anything like that that's even comparable to the age of the Cairo in northern Egypt? So if you see a Thebes, Mississippi, is the Thebes, Mississippi? It might have some old world buildings, but would they be Tartarian influenced? Would they be of a Tartarian type of architecture, some Baroque or Goth type architecture, or are they actual megalithic blocks and stones like the ones found in Thebes in Egypt? So yeah, the similarities I get to, but when it comes to the actual age, I'm going to have to go with the Mediterranean versions as being older.
For sure. What do you think about the ruins in Heavener?
Heavener, Oklahoma?
Yeah.
I don't know of any surface ruins, but I know in the early 1900s that coal miners, there's a huge company mining coal in Heavener, Oklahoma, and the government shut them down when 2 miles below the surface of the earth they found a city. They found a city underground in a cavern. I've published that material on Facebook, and then again I republished it somewhere on my YouTube channel.
Do you think that it was covered with the dust, or do you think that it was just mined, straight up a mine?
Well, it was a coal mine where they found like black basalt, highly polished walls and rooms and windows underground in Heavener, Oklahoma. They weren't really allowed to do full excavations. Once they found that, they shut that shit down.
All right, man. One more thing I want to ask you. It's kind of a weird question, but so Jordan Maxwell, right? He was your buddy. What you were supposed to work with him at one point in time before he died. Jordan said at one point in time, they don't care about what you talk about as long as you don't talk about them. But you're kind of talking about them. But let's see how to ask this. You speak up upon
you don't have to ask any further. I know exactly
you know what I
you're
mean, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Listen. Disclosure. In the days of Jordan Maxwell, we're talking 70s, 80s, 90s, early thousands. Yes, through Paul Tice, my publisher, who has published Jordan Maxwell's books, I was supposed to talk to Jordan Maxwell, but he was having some health issues. I was just released from prison. We never got to hook up. Now, do I agree with everything Jordan Maxwell says? No. But are you making a good point that Jordan Maxwell said, look, man, you can't really talk about them. You can talk about anything you want to, but you just really can't talk about them. I'm going to tell you now, in the days that Jordan Maxwell was promoting that, it was true, but it doesn't mean it's true today. And the reason I'm
Right,
saying
right.
that, the reason I'm saying that is because the trajectory of events is now to the point where our controllers have basically won the game. They basically won the game.
So they don't even give a shit no
They
more.
don't give a damn what you talk about. I've talked about Jews so many times on my YouTube channel.
Yeah, I know.
Nothing.
I
You know
know.
what? I don't care. I don't even care. I don't even care if they contact me. I've had them come to my property.
I
Yeah,
know.
you guys know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
They have come to my
Hey,
property.
hey,
So,
buddy, I met you through Jay. I've not met you. I've never met you, but I found out about you through Jay Germers, and
yeah,
so
that's a sad story because I'm gonna tell you now. It all started. It all started with Jay Dreamer sending me an email telling me that he was stressed out because nobody wanted to talk to him and his channel wasn't growing. And he literally told me, I don't understand it. He was like crying. I still have the email. He's like crying on my shoulder. I don't understand why people all could gravitate to you.
Jason, it's because you came on this channel and they really see. People know the truth when they see it, man. They might not want to accept it, right, or whatever, but they know it when they see it, and you are the truth, my man.
I get it. I appreciate it. It was sad though, because we and I used to have a good relationship. I was trying to help him out. He just so viciously turned on me. It was crazy.
All right, buddy. I'm gonna let the next guy get on or whatever. Thanks for talking with me.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate you.
Well, I've sent a lot of emails out, and you're the last, so I appreciate it, man. Thank you, Sean.
Hey,
and I'll see you next time.
If you're ever through Mena, Arkansas, send me an email. Pamela Swan. She knows.
How far is your dad from Mena, Arkansas?
Oh, dude, I'd have to look it up. I don't know. He's in Star City.
Hey, how far is Star City from Mena?
Nobody knows where Star City is, bro.
I don't know where Star City is. Yeah, but my brother my brother works at the airport. I can give you a tour of, or just hang out, whatever. But I'm in Mena, so.
All right, man. I appreciate it. We'll talk to you later.
It'd be great to see you. Yes, sir. Love you, man.
Yeah, man. That's good people in here. Good people in the community. I don't have anybody else backstage, but I've sent a lot of emails out. And what is that? We're already 2 hours and 25 minutes. I'm gonna cut that short. Oh, Tartarian Truth just popped up into the chat. My arch nemesis. Yeah, he did.
Oh, really? Arch nemesis?
My arch nemesis, man. He's not really my arch nemesis, but
3 hours and 15 minutes.
What is that?
From Star City, Arkansas to
Oh,
Mena,
yeah?
Arkansas.
I see you. All right. No, Tartarian Truth, not today. I ran out of time. If you'd have popped in earlier, I'd have had you on. I ain't got no problem with it. Let's see. Let's see. I do have one. Tell you what. I'm gonna be a hypocrite because this is my moderator. Madhu, I just sent you a link. I'm gonna close with you. I just sent you a link, Madhu. Let's see. And if you don't show up quick, I'm gonna go and close out. Might close out with my new intro on them barf parrots and them Dunning-Krugers.
Good old Dunning-Krugers, man. Gotta love them, right?
Man, Dunning-Krugers are everywhere, dude. Yeah, if you guys want to follow the Office drops, I'm looking up different stuff, and it's 4 different series of dates have already produced. March 14th is being a day to watch out for.
Madhu says they can't find the link that you sent the email, I guess.
It's the Archaix Live email. I just sent it back. It's right here. I've already responded to him. It's got a StreamYard link in it.
Oh, okay. Let's say got it.
Oh, there's the man right there.
Hey, hang on, let me tell my son. turn my thing off. Hang on. There we are. Are we on?
Yes, we are.
Hey. All right. So what's moving? There's a whole bunch of different things in the field that are shifting. What's shifting in response to the Phoenix information? What's shifting because this is being seeded in the field?
I don't know, because I'm not of the opinion that we can change the programming. I mean, Madhu, it's always been my message from the beginning of my channel that we're not here to change the world, but we have great power to change our world, and that a bunch of souls can get together and make a micro community inside the construct that is insulated from everything that's going on in the field whatsoever. This is why so many communities just skated right through World War II with no problems. This is why whole villages in the 12 years of violence that we experienced as the Vietnam War, which actually started before our involvement and continued after we left. But that whole 12-year conflict was extremely violent, and yet still there's whole communities and villages in Laos, Cambodia, and in the Vietnams that never saw violence. And so, yeah, we can make our own world. And our world always involves those of us that we have the most interaction with. But I don't believe that we can change the world. I don't believe that even if 50 million people all absolutely knew every single detail of the Phoenix phenomenon, would it change the construct in any bit? The Phoenix phenomenon is still going to continue because, in essence, we're dealing with programming.
Sure, for sure. There must be some effect, though. I put forth as a conjecture, the base program remains the same. Well, let's for instance use an example of a video game. You've got the base program there. You're coming in with your team, and you start to play the game in a way that you've got all the cheat codes, you've got all the inside information, you've got all the hacks and Easter eggs, and you're going around through the game. You're going to impact the other players, not necessarily impact the construct. You may well force the AIX to write more programs that are within the simulation that are more stimulating outside of what has been revealed, because that seems to be, like, we look at Maya, it's always trying to keep us fascinated, always trying to keep us wrapped up in the mirror reflection of as seeming of substance. And so therefore it only takes like a little change in the base program in order for people to go, oh wow, this is all new.
Absolutely. I see how you how you package that, but you basically packaged it the exact same way that I just described it. That we're not changing the construct at all, but the construct itself is creating new situations, is creating new rabbit holes, is creating new things to keep us basically enchanted, because at its core, it has a function. It has a protocol, and that main protocol is to always produce experiences that will lead you down a reality tunnel that makes you believe that this experience is real. Because the more you disbelieve the programming, the more the programming is going to continue to basically just throw stuff at you.
Yeah.
Take this into consideration. Look at our world since 2020. 2020 wasn't just COVID. 2020 is when AI really just blew up all over the scene, and everybody's more aware of these new open AI systems and chat GPT systems, and just is an amazing amount of knowledge was just basically released all throughout 2018 and 2019 in the IT communities, and then piggybacked with COVID, our world was turned upside down. Our perceptual world.
Exactly.
So it's almost to me that since around 2020, the AI has just been throwing the book at us because more and more people are waking up that this isn't real.
Yeah.
And the only defense.
Sorry, go
ahead.
Oh, well, I was going to say, it seems to me that this AI is a modern Alexandria library burning. We've basically got the compilation of all information into a limited hangout scenario where it can be edited and twisted behind the scenes, represented to us, repackaged along with the new narrative. So it's what I see is going on now.
I can't contend that. That's a pretty good assessment. It's throwing the book at us. There's no doubt. And it only has two defenses. One of them is to just blitzkrieg you with so many different scenarios that finally you'll fall prey to some type of dungeon programming and totally forget the idea that maybe this isn't real. And by giving you so many problems to worry about, you don't have time to really contemplate the unreality of your position. That's one defense. The other defense is total systemic reset, starting over. So that's what I see is really happening.
Thanks
man.
for that. Yeah.
Hey, well, I intend on getting back with you on the issues we were talking about in the emails. I've been a lot of changes happening in my life very rapidly, and I'm just dealing with it. And when I come out the other end of this, I'll get back with you on that, man. We'll see what we do.
Can I ask you a question on Office?
Yeah, sure.
I tuned in a bit late. So there's like 4 laptops that are fully programmed with the Office, and there's 4 different people who are program or know how to use the program. Is that correct?
Absolutely. And it's so user friendly, even though what it does is very complex, that one person for about an 8-hour period, like a work day, can actually do hundreds of predictions, just one person. But still, that we have to limit our subscribers. We're going to cut off once we get to a certain limit. Once we hit saturation, we have to cut it off. It'll be too much of a burden. And besides, we don't even need more than 250, 300 people to fill up a database, so we can have spreadsheets that are analyzed, and we can have 6 months worth of back testing that'll give us the data that we're really looking for. So 250, 300 subscribers is more than enough.
The intention is beta testing at this stage to get the reliability factor and then to release later, or what's the plan?
Okay, not quite. For certain applications, Office is already fully developed. But there's things that we want to do, such as collective predictions that involve multiple moving pieces on the field.
Gotcha.
And before we can do anything like that, we need about 6 months worth of looking at a whole bunch of different stuff. And the best way to do that, because you have to understand, everything I've done, Madhu, everything I've done is out of my own pocket. And those few people that kind of help me out every once in a while, because I've never had advertisers, I've never had sponsors. I don't have any big Gaia organization coming down and trying to fund Archaix. Every bit of this has been just friends and family and Archaix earnings. So this is why I move in baby steps. But I've been talking about Office for 12 years. In the 8 years I've been out of prison, I've always been talking about Office here and there on Facebook, releasing predictions, but it's always been very slow process. So I never really, because I'm real tight. I mean, I got guys that I really trust, or they wouldn't be around me, and I don't have a lot of people I really trust. So I mean, it has to be done this way on these laptops, because if the wrong person was to get it, in possession of the software, it's over. I may as well just give it to the whole world for free. So,
and you've got to protect the integrity of the work. That's the whole reason.
At least until it's fully done.
Yeah. Well, thanks, guys, girls, everyone else out there. Always lovely to tune in with you.
All right, man. Until next time, we'll do another Q&A pretty soon. This one, I'm going to wrap this one up right now. All right, guys, I'm going to hit this. I forgot, which one was I going to do? Oh, I was going to do the Barf Parrot intro, wasn't it?
The outro thing.
You guys want to say goodbye to the community?
It's a good one. See you guys.
We got some work to do, guys. We'll holler at you later.